Flyer men, leaders both on the field but also off the field in the community, and it's going to be, there's a little bit of transitionary period that's going to happen. Obviously, you're going from two, as you just mentioned, a couple of decades of having run the same stuff, so to speak. So there's going to be, some different spins on stuff. Watching pregame, pretty much looked the same, but there were some little wrinkles that were a little different. So for the players, right, we're coming off of a second place
Central
finish
State,
with the
you're
PFL.
You'll call a toss.
So it's not
that
you're coming off of, okay, the last coaching staff got fired and they left. No, you had a legendary coach that retired.
It is heads.
All right, let's get going. It's going to take a sec for
Dayton
the new verbiage on both sides of the ball
to the second half
to kind of really sink in. But once it does, man, I think the sky's the limit for this program. Not just this year, but in the years coming. I think Coach Andrews has got a staff that he's hired. He's talked about it earlier this year. There's a younger staff, but they're hungry. They've recruited tenaciously through the offseason. They've brought in a lot of talent so far to add to the talent that was already on the roster, so they've given more depth. So there's a lot to look forward to. And again, we'll talk about this throughout the whole game and throughout the rest of this season. It's obviously the theme of the year. The first year in a long time that, as you mentioned, under a new helm, so to speak, because when Coach Kelly retired, there wasn't a crazy amount of transition to Coach Chamberlain's era. Yep. You still had the same offensive coordinator. You still was running the same defense. So there wasn't a lot of change until recently. But a lot to look forward to. Obviously, last week wasn't exactly how you want to start off the new era, but now you're back home with a chance to kind of get it going the right direction.
So it'll be Dayton to kick it away. Dayton will receive in the second half. David Moorer will kick it away. Central State with two back deep.
So something that hasn't changed, we still recruit the Cincinnati area. Getting those GCL South guys up here. Maurer is a kicker out of Elder, Cincinnati Elder. Yep. We haven't had an Elder guy on the Dayton roster in a while. But you look across, you're seeing the same pockets. They're recruiting hard in the Ohio area, both the Cincinnati, Columbus, up in the Cleveland-Akron area. A lot of football talent in this region. So the staff knows that, and they went out and got a bunch of it this offseason. Here we go.
Michael Lowe and Brandon Brock back to receive for Central State. The kick goes to Brock, but that'll be past his shoulders and into the end zone. A touchback to get us started here this afternoon. It's a beautiful day in Dayton, a little breezy, wind blowing from left to right here in the newly renovated Welcome Stadium press box.
And not that, obviously we were talking a lot about Dayton so far. Central State, pretty good team. Started off the year playing in the Chicago Classic. Looks like we have some laundry on the field. I missed that. I'm not sure what it was going to be. I'm sure we'll be letting know here in a second.
After the play was over, personal foul. Receiving team, number 53. That penalty be half the distance to the goal. First down and 10, Central State.
So a significant penalty there on a personal foul on the opening kickoff of the game. That was referee Chris Rick. Umpire today, David Drexler. Referee Chris Rick. As I mentioned, head linesman is James Bower. Line judge Adam Parsons. Back judge Brian Wontzis. Field judge is Bob Navarro. And the side judge is Brian Brumfield.
So you have Central State, who's coming in off of a 24-21 victory last week. They played Mississippi Valley State in Chicago on Soldier Field as part of the Chicago Classic. So they're going to come in with a lot of confidence off that win and airing it out right away.
Passing on first down, that was a deep ball down the middle looking for T.J. Gregory, but overthrown. Quarterback Alec Lewis, a grad student, 6'1", 225, and he's a transfer, Jared, into this program for Northern Colorado.
Watching on the field before and during pregame, you can tell he's got some moxie to him, the way he carries himself, a lot of confidence. Spun the ball pretty good. I mean, you saw it right there. Aired it out just a little long, which there is some wind down on field level. I'm not sure how much it played into the throw, but he steps into the ball, confidently throwing it. Big body. It's going to be tough to bring down. It's tough to kind of look at last week's game, too, because we unfortunately didn't end up with any stats from last week's game. But watching it, they did a lot of good things on offense, a lot of good things on defense as well. They have some athletes out on the perimeter, which is going to be, I think, the biggest challenge for this Flyers defense is that corner. The last few years, we haven't Dayton hasn't had basically since the 2015-2016 teams with Christian Searles and Cam Stubbs. They've kind of not really found that guy out on the perimeter. So that's one area I was looking at coming into this game. Is Central State is strong offensively out on the perimeter. They don't even list the tight end. They basically run a primary set as a double twins or 4 wide out set. So is Dayton going to be able to cover out on the edge? So far, pass the test on drive 1.
3 and out there for Central State to get things going. Marauders will punt it away. Sam Bubonics is back deep for the Flyers.
And watching beforehand, Central State's got a slow get off. Oh, and it got blocked right away.
That one looked like it got tipped. Takes a Dayton bounce back toward the 40-yard line. Bubonics unable to get there. And that ball was tipped. No flag for any kind of contact to the punter there, which means that Dayton will take over in pretty prime field position with 13:40 to go in the game's opening quarter. And we'll get to see the Flyer offense for the first time this afternoon. Dante Cassiola, a name that if you watched last year, you're familiar with. Kind of thrust into things last year. And now it's his offense this year. Cassiola spreading everybody out wide. Off to his right, it's Michael Neal. Cassiola gives it to Neal on first down. He'll run right up the middle. And a significant chunk of yardage, picks up 9 on first down to the 32-yard line.
That's what I was going to say, Paul, is it's the 4th straight year for this Dayton offense of having a new play caller, but one thing that stayed true is the commitment to the running game. You saw it right there with Michael Neal. He's been sitting behind Jake Chisholm, All-American running back, the last few years. Haven't really gotten a lot of opportunity to show what he can do, but, man, he could have started at any other team in the league, and you saw it on that first play.
Neal bouncing around the outside. He actually ran into his own guy there. That was the center, Dylan DeMason. Kind of got blocked into him, but still a first down. The first down of the day for the Flyers.
So watching Dayton last week on offense, they started off the game putting together a decent little drive. They ended up missing a field goal. But they were putting some plays together. As the game went on and it started to get out of hand, they were having trouble finding that rhythm. So coming into this game, that's what you want to do right off the bat, is establish your identity, impose your will on the defense. Oh, that's not great.
Cassiola under center. He barely got that away. Was kind of looking down this sideline to see if his knee hit the ground before he was able to hand that ball off.
I thought it did hit the ground.
They say it didn't. Neal got back to the line of scrimmage. Haven't seen Cassiola throw yet today. First 3 plays of the game have all been on the ground. He didn't throw a whole lot last week, though. Only 7 for 11 for 43 yards.
And part of that, though, too, is while Cassiola started the game, they have been using a 2-quarterback system so far to start the year.
Neal gets the ball again, slips through 1 tackle, and then picks up 2. Gets down to the 26-yard line. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, and you got the North Carolina backfield out there with Cassiola and Neal both coming out of Charlotte, which has kind of been a little pipeline for the Dayton Flyers in recent years, recruiting-wise. But both of these guys, got to look and see. I believe they played at the same high school, or rival high schools, I believe. But both of them state champions in high school. They know how to win.
Cassiola passing on 3rd and long. He goes over the middle to Gavin Loncho. Down the sideline and in for a touchdown. The Flyers are on the board. March right down the field and set the tone early with a touchdown. 11:16 to go in the opening quarter.
And you want to talk about a surprise of camp? Gavin Lockout. He's a legacy. His dad was an All-American middle linebacker for Dayton, I believe back in the 80s. So he's carrying on that Flyers legacy. He's a quarterback coming out of high school, out of the West Virginia area. And when Dayton got him, they told him right off the bat, look, we just need you on the field, and you're an athlete. And he's made the transition to receiver through training camp, literally earned his spot. And there's been some attrition out there in the wideouts. You guys get banged up, obviously. Camp is long, 3 weeks of straight football. But he's come in and taken that job right off the bat. You saw right there. Just get him the ball in space, a little under route, crosser behind the D-line, and he did the rest.
Yeah, so Lockout puts the Flyers up 7-0. Extra point tacked on from Sam Webster, another familiar name.
Yep. and that's Sam Webster is, while stuff changes, he's remained Mr. Consistent. I believe Coach Andrews called him Mr. Consistent in his preseason interview with DaytonFlyers.com. But so far, looking decent on offense. They've done decent in the running game. Neil's run the ball pretty hard. Neil actually put on about 10 pounds of muscle in this offseason too, so that's definitely going to help make him a little harder to bring down, which is typically one of the qualities of a Dayton running back is they don't go down on first contact, and when they do finally go down, they fall forward, and you saw that on that first drive. So good opening drive by this Dayton offense, good opening drive by the Dayton defense. So let's see if Dayton can continue to put these together.
Only one pass on that opening drive, and it went for a touchdown. Marr kicking it away. This one will be returnable back from the 1 yard line. It's Brock coming out in the middle of the field, and a huge hit leveled there by the Flyers, coming straight in to make that play. That was Logan Miller. But a 5-play, 41-yard scoring drive for the Flyers. 26-yard pass to Lockout.
Yeah, we've been screwing up Lock-O's name. It's Lock-O, not Lockout. So that's on us. We will get that correct the rest of the game. One thing that I was intrigued about coming in to this season is defensive tackle. Sam Webster coming off of a PFL All-League recognition last year. And not the... Did I say Sam Webster? I meant Sam Shattuck. Excuse me.
Yep.
Sam Shattuck from Upper Arlington and Columbus area. Had a good little 1-2 punch last year. Him and Drew Robertson was the other D tackle. So Robertson graduated. Shattuck is back. So my question coming into this year is how much of Shattuck's production was Shattuck, or how much of it was that Shattuck-Robertson connection? Because they did run a lot of tackle stunts in the middle there. So that's where I'm looking at is right now it's Jack Wardzala, number 95, out of Indianapolis. Is he going to be able to provide that attention from the offensive line to get Shattuck those one-on-one opportunities to make plays in the backfield?
Lewis, an empty backfield, mishandles the snap and is just able to get it away. I don't know if that got back to the line of scrimmage. He was being chased by Nathan Arthur pretty well back there into the backfield. But that'll bring up another 4th down.
There's
and a
no
3 and
foul
out.
for intentional grounding. Central State had a receiver in the area. 4th down.
Nathan Arthur, that's a name we haven't said yet, but it's going to get said a lot this year. He was a big addition coming back. He opted to come back for his 5th year. Comes back, becomes one of the captains. Him and Matt Lenti on this Dayton defense, they've done a good job through the offseason, according to Coach Andrews, of leading this defense through this transition and being steady back there. Ooh, almost got to it again.
Almost got to it again, and a wobbly punt that goes out of bounds, or actually stays in bounds, and now is returned down the sideline for a couple of yards, but nearly out of bounds again in the same spot. Bubonics was there, and this is setting up and within 2 or 3 yards of the same spot from the first drive where, again, it was the Flyers who just marched right down the field, 4 runs and a pass for a touchdown.
I imagine we're going to see much of the same, which we should have touched on this as well. Dayton is, after game 1, is without 2 of their offensive line starters. So something you don't see a whole lot. Right guard, number 58, Zachary McDowell, freshman out of Westerville, Ohio. You don't typically see a true freshman getting a start, but he's gotten in there. And on the other side at guard is Brock Adams. Ooh,
Casiola passing again, busted coverage. It's Keithley into the end zone, a touchdown, and the Flyers are rolling.
What a great throw. That's just a nice job of reading the defense. Did it too high. He hit. Keithley does a great job of kind of zoning it down as he gets in the hole, and Casiola puts it on him and lets Keithley do the rest. Huge play for the tight end out of Knoxville, Tennessee.
That drive took all of about 6 seconds.
Hey, that's how you draw it up. No, that's a good pitch and catch there. That was Casiola last year's season, cut short with a thumb injury. Oop, got a ball on the turf.
Mishandled the snap. Now we're going to throw it into the end zone, and it's overthrown, almost converted. Kevin Roberts was down there along the sideline. Actually, that may have been Keithley.
I think
again, or was
you're
it
right.
Was it Roberts? Oh, there was Roberts. Roberts down there and the far side. But either way, Dayton up 13-0. And Jared, right now, it looks like Central State is just overmatched.
So far, on offense, I going into this game, I thought that we were going to see a little bit more crispness out of the Central State offense based on how they played last week against Mississippi Valley State. So far, the Dayton defense has come out and held them into long yardage situations, kept them behind the chains, and been able to capitalize on that. 2 3-and-outs, and you get the ball back with short field position for your offense. That's exactly what you want to do if you're the John Bowes and this defensive football staff for the Flyers. So if they can continue this, it's going to be a fun game for the Flyers if you're a Flyer fan.
Cassiola to Keithley, 45-yard touchdown pass. 10:25 to go in the opening quarter.
A little different than last week.
I would say so. 41-0 at the hands of Illinois State. The Flyers scoring their first points of the season and have come out and set the tone in emphatic fashion.
No, that's not what you like to see, though. A couple of on the kickoff coverage team, you know, you're obviously going to see some guys flying full speed, hitting other guys. But if you're Dayton, right, you're coming in this game, you're a Division I FCS opponent, you're playing a D2 school, you want to keep your composure about you. On paper, you should win this game, right, because obviously you're the higher division. But what you don't want to see is guys starting to lose their composure a little bit, starting to get into some unnecessary situations.
It'll be a pass again down the right sideline, and that's incomplete. Coming back for the ball there was Brandon Brock, who has been the primary target early on. He tried to go to Brock a couple of times.
Underthrew him.
And haven't completed a pass. If that ball is out farther, I don't want to say that's a touchdown, but it could be. You
have Matt Lenti, one of the Dayton safeties, in about 2-3 yards in trail.
Coming over near side, that pass complete, and a huge hit leveled from the Dayton defense there, the middle linebacker, Nathan Arthur.
That's what he can do, man. Product of St. Xavier down in Cincinnati. Arthur's been known for sheer tackling and just all around, honestly, just being a good football player. He usually can be found where the ball is.
That was Jeremy Clark on the reception. He's a FBS transfer from UNLV. It was going out right side. That's caught and pushed out of bounds. We'll see if they mark him short of the first down marker. It looks like they do. It was TJ Gregory on the reception, but Central State comes up a yard short, and it's the third straight 3-and-out. And I don't believe they've had a drive take more than about 90 seconds so far.
Well, and that's going to happen when you're passing the ball the whole time. All you're going to have is clock stopped. I think that ball might even been tipped at the line of scrimmage, so nice job out on the outside by Gregory, keeping the concentration and making the catch. And he reached for the line, he almost got it. Again, Central State's got a slow operation when it comes to the punt, so we'll see if Dayton is able to get there. I mean, nice punt.
Best punt of the day. Here's Bubonics on the return, able to slip through one defender. And there's a second, but a flag comes in, rather, for a face mask late.
Nice punt. On the Dayton rush, number 55, Chase Brown, sophomore defensive end. I thought he could have made a play on the ball, but he kind of held up a little bit.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, number 33 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty to the end of the run. First down and 10, Dayton.
And Dayton was about to have their worst starting field position, which it still is, but it's within 10 yards of where they've started the last 2 drives. So can't shoot yourself in the foot, especially in these type of situations if you're Central State.
Dayton will start on their own 43-yard line.
And you have another. So Dayton right now on field has 4 true freshmen playing.
Cassiola passing for the 3rd consecutive time. This pass comes over the middle, finds Derek Willits for the first time today.
And that's just a great rhythm, timing, quick passing game. Central State sitting back, giving you about 5 yards underneath. Just a nice pitch and catch. Good play call by Greg Whalen, the new offensive coordinator for the Dayton Flyers. But in the backfield, you have a true freshman running back from Roncalli in Indianapolis, Luke Hansen. A guy that was kind of a surprise in camp. Run hard. Oh.
Low throw, and Luke Hansen right on the money.
And if he would have caught that right there, we would have been, hey, what a player. But I don't know anybody could have caught that. But Hansen's impressed through camp with his just tough, physical, aggressive style of running. Just a guy that you give him the ball in between the tackles, he's going to make one cut, get the tough yards.
So after running the ball for the first 4 plays of the game, haven't seen the Flyers run the ball yet. After that, Cole Dow is in at quarterback now, and I think that's a false start.
56, Ryan Iams, a little too early.
Right tackle trying to pull over.
Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So you're going to see both Cassiola and Cole Dow through this game. Something we saw last week looking at the film from the Illinois State game. Both are kind of used about equally. That was one thing that Coach Andrews talked about during camp. It was one of the better battles that he had through camp. Not that one guy didn't necessarily win it. Both guys won it, so to speak. And they each bring a little bit different to the offense. One thing Dow brings is the QB power, and you're going to see it right here.
Dow running out left on second down. Here comes another flag.
Thinking it's going to be a hold on Brock Adams, the left guard, number 79.
And Dayton going to be backed up yet again.
Holding. Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
So the first down marker for this drive right here is at the Central State 36-yard line. This ball is going to be spotted at Dayton's 39.
Yeah, just a nice little second and 21, or 23, excuse me.
Long way to go for the Flyers to try and pick up a first down. But a couple of downs to do it. It's Dow back to pass. Here comes the rush. He dumps it over. Ooh. And nowhere to go. Stacked up behind the line of scrimmage was Michael Neal. They were trying for the screen pass. Didn't get the right blocking there. Central State blew up the play. And now it's third down and very long.
Cornerback Zay Morrison did a great job sniffing out that screen, coming up, making first contact on Neal. Didn't quite bring him down, but slowed him up enough to let the rest of the Marauders come in and make a big tackle.
Dow still in a quarterback.
One thing he can give you is he can run.
Third and over 20. That pass is overthrown, incomplete, but there's a flag on the field. And it looks like it's going to go against Central State.
I don't know about that call. It looks like it's going to go on number 3, Montego Johnson, the safety out of Atlanta, Georgia. But I got to be honest, I think that's just a no call. Both guys just kind of incidental contact. I don't know if that contact's even going to prevent Willits from even being able to catch that ball. Looked a little bit overthrown, but I'm sure that's what the conference is about. If it is a pass interference, it's going to do Dayton a huge favor with automatic first down.
Pass interference. Defense.
And that is exactly what it is.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Looks like they called it on number 13, Dejan McNeil. I think they might have been a mess up. Messed up the number. I don't see McNeil on the field. I think it was supposed to go to Montego Johnson, number 3. Either way, it's new life for this Flyers offense, who was in danger of punting for the first time.
First and 10 for the Flyers, this time from the Marauders' 46-yard line.
And they brought in 2 tights, run the ball.
Neal,
oh,
nowhere to go. Loss of 3 there on the play. That'll go back to the 49.
And one thing the Central State defense does is just a little different, right? For all intents and purposes, it's a 4-down front, but a lot of times you're going to see a 1-tech and a 3-tech for the defensive tackles. Central State actually goes with a nose tackle, a 3-tech, has an end, and then number 8 on the near side of your screen, Carlos Carter, he's what they call the buck position. So he's kind of a stand-up on the end. So Dylan DeMason, the center for this Flyer, is going to have his hands full all day trying to block. Oh, that you got to have that.
Casiola coming out near side to Brian Dolby, targeting Dolby for the first time this afternoon. That falls incomplete. And yet again, it's a 3rd and long, this time a 3rd and about 13.
And that's an example of just moving before you got the ball caught. Took his eyes off it at the last second, and that's a drop.
3rd and 14 officially. 6:45 to go in the opening quarter. Dayton up by a couple touchdowns. First time we've seen the Central State defense really put any kind of stops together. It's Casiola stepping up into the pocket, throwing out near side. That pass is caught. A really nice catch made on this near sideline. It's going to be Jake Coleman on that reception.
Fortunately, about 5 yards short of the first down.
So we'll see
Nice ball. Nice catch by Coleman, keeping the foot in. Central State brought both middle linebackers. That's something if you can go back, which wasn't really, I was watching Coleman on the near side, but if you could see, did Dayton have some sort of hot route coming in behind those blitzing linebackers, that would have been where you went with the ball. As it is, you got 4th and 5. So we'll see if Dayton actually runs a play or if they just try to draw them off sides.
Casiola does run a play. Stepping up, nowhere to go, rolling right, has a man down the sideline. It's Neal, and it's incomplete. Dayton will turn it over on downs with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
All in all, just a very sloppy possession for Dayton. Something that they're going to need the 2 captains on the offensive side, David Ketch, who's actually not dressed for this game, and then Derek Willits, going to need to get these guys, okay, let's get back to playing Flyer football. There's way too many flags during that sequence. Didn't really handle the adversity as well as they could have. So something that's going to need to be addressed in the offensive huddle. I'm looking down there right now and seeing Greg Whalen, the offensive coordinator.
Pass down the sideline that falls incomplete. No flag. The Central State sideline wanted a flag. I'm wondering if they didn't throw one because it was uncatchable.
Yeah,
what do you think of that
That's
coverage?
Very similar to on the last drive with the play that goes in Dayton's favor. You know, kind of incidental contact that led to Central State's receiver not being able to, T.J. Gregory being able to make a play on it. But it was a great play call. Good idea, great spot to go with the ball. It just overthrew him a little bit.
5:54 to go in quarter one. Passing again, this time to the far side of the field. Pass is caught. That was Jeremiah Flores on the reception, another senior.
It's just a nice first down play, although it was on 2nd down, so now you're putting yourself a little bit behind. And that's where Dayton so far on defense has done a good job keeping Central State behind the chains into these long 3rd down situations where they can kind of dictate what Central State is able to do. But empty set.
3rd and 7, here comes the rush, and that's incomplete. And yet again, it's a 3 and out for the Dayton defense.
Well, and to go back to what we were talking about before with Sam Shattuck, the D tackle for Dayton, you do your job on 1st or 2nd down, you get Central State into a 3rd and long situation. Central State goes empty, and Shattuck just licks his chops, does a nice little swim move, gets around the right guard, and is hitting Lewis as he's throwing the ball. Nice job by this Dayton defense, getting pressure and playing complementary to the offense. Offense didn't have a nice possession the last time out. Defense said, that's all right, we're going to come out, get a stop before we get you the ball back, give you another shot at it. Ooh.
Rush was incoming. Bubonics lets the ball bounce. And it takes another favorable Dayton bounce. The offense will take over for the Flyers right around the 30, call it the 30-yard line.
So I think this is going to be telling of what Dayton's going to have going forward the rest of this season. You just had a very choppy sort of drive. okay? Who's the guy that's going to step up? Who's the leader that's going to come out and say, okay, here we go. That's not us. This is us. This is going to be this drive. You know, hopefully it comes from 17 out there in red. Very well could come from Neal as well, but let's see what kind of drive Dayton puts together in this possession.
Here's Neal running up the middle. Room to run. Neal off to the races.
Got our answer.
Neal down the right sideline, and it's a touchdown for the Dayton Flyers on their opening play of the drive. Second time today we've seen the Flyers score on the first play of a drive. This time it's Michael Neal. A touchdown for Dayton. They're up by 3 scores.
Got our answer right there, Paul. We've
for an injured player.
Injured player for Central State. Can't quite see his number. We'll get that to you once we do. But Coach Greg Whalen, the offensive coordinator, you could see him while the defense was out there the last time, lighting into the offense on the sideline, and must have said the right words, got that O-line fired up. They come out, opened up a hole even I could have run through. And Michael Neal is a much better athlete than I am, and he did the rest. You saw him scampering on to give Dayton another touchdown. I think it's one of the defensive tackles for Central State that's injured on this.
A little hard to see, trying to get him back to his feet.
95?
95. That's Jeffrey Taloa, sophomore from St. George, Utah. 70-yard run for Michael Neal.
Never like to see injuries, that's for sure. And one thing to look at, last week, speaking of injuries, Dayton lost one of their long snappers, Austin Yeager. He's down there on crutches, so I don't think it's too good. So last PAT attempt, you had a ball that ended up on the turf. I wasn't watching closely enough to see if that was a holder or the snap's fault, but having a new snap holder connection, I wonder if that's going to factor into this one.
Good snap, good hold, and right through the uprights, and it's 20-0 Dayton.
And they cleaned it up.
So now I'm interested to see here, Jared, how Central State tries to respond, because they have yet to pick up a first down today. 10 minutes into the game, they've had a handful of drives. They've tried to air it out. Dayton's coverage has been good, but also the passing hasn't been all that tight.
Well, we say the coverage has been good, but there's been 2 or 3 different opportunities deep that have been underthrown. So you get a couple of those connected, it's a different ball game, because you talk about the deficit right now, which is 20-0, and you talk about how all Central State's done is aired it out. Well, Central State, that's exactly how you get back into this game is you have that quick strike ability, right? And they have the athletes on the outside, so if they can connect, if Lewis can hit on one of these deeper plays, it could be a whole new ball game real quick. You know, because it is obviously 20-0, it's a 3-possession game, but again, we go back, not last drive, but a couple drives ago on the far side on Central State's sideline when I forget who it was that got him behind. I think it was Gregory got him behind Lenti, but it was an underthrown ball. You know, so if they can connect on that first down play, that's the biggest thing, Paul, is that Central State so far has been behind the chains the whole time. So if they can get ahead of the chains, who knows? Maybe they do have a running game. I haven't had the opportunity to see it.
I believe they've only run the ball twice so far today.
Which that is definitely been a Dayton Flyers staple on defense over the last couple of decades is strong against the run. You got double twins stacked. See a little rub.
Play action.
Nice.
And a nice tackle over the middle of the field. That was Matt Lenti after a 6 or 7 yard pickup.
See, and that's what stacking the receivers on the outside is going to allow you to do is get a free release for one of those where the second defender can't be too tight because you don't want to get picked. So it's just a nice, easy slant.
Mark it deep. That was a 9-yard reception, and that pass underthrown down the far sideline. They've tried that same play to Brandon Brock now 3 times, and all 3 times it's been severely underthrown.
And that's what's difficult for Central State here is you clearly have the matchup you want. You're clearly winning that matchup, but you can't get them the ball. In the slot, that's where a lot of times you're playing against the third best corner. That's where you can exploit that.
Third and 1, and what a spectacular play by the Dayton defense. Jack Ward-Zala there on the tackle, blowing it up in the backfield for a loss.
Well, and the first guy to it was a local product out of Piqua, Ohio, number 37, Karan Coleman, who the last 2 seasons this year, season so far, stacking up to be so. Just all around the best defensive football player Dayton has. Under Coach Chamberlain's era, they used to call him the flyer back. And the flyer back basically was just who's our best football player. A little bit of safety qualities, a little bit of linebacker qualities. Who's the guy we just need on the field? Kind of a Troy Polamalu-esque type position. Under Coach Andrews' era, I believe they call him the star. But again, he's a guy that you just get, and he almost gets the block. What a beautiful punt, though.
Bubonics there on the punt return, calls for the fair catch, and that'll be spotted at the Dayton 29-yard line.
They had to go back to Coleman. Coleman is just all around a good football player. Since he's made an impact since he's got to Dayton, and you can see it right there as he just on a blitz gets into the backfield, disrupts the ball carrier enough to let Ward-Zala and the rest of the defense come up and clean it up.
And now Dayton with a 3-touchdown lead, Jared. 3:39 to go in the first quarter. At what point, I know it's still exceptionally early, you're still in the first quarter, but do you think about running the ball a little more here, or are you still putting your foot on the gas?
I think with a new offensive coaching staff, I think you're still trying to get your identity. I don't think you take the foot off the gas till second half, at least. Right now, you're still trying to kind of establish, okay, this is who we are. You do have young guys in there playing. Logan Davis with his first carry, running back product out of Louisville, Kentucky. The other St. X is what he says, but all those Ohio St. X boys say otherwise. But nice job by Davis. Again, Dayton has always had a very, very deep running back room. The only issue is the starters are usually so good that the rest of the guys just can't get in. But you can see Davis with a nice little carry there. But Paul, to go back to your question, I think if you're Dayton, you're just trying to get rhythm over this game and the next because you start off great run.
Davis up the middle. Another run back-to-back, this time for a first down as he gets across the 40-yard line up toward the 45. They'll spot him at the 44. Dayton marching right down the field again on back-to-back runs.
And not to look ahead, but okay, so Illinois State didn't go the way you wanted it to. You put some good stuff on film, stuff to learn from, but you didn't really have a lot of good coming out of there. Definitely didn't have any sort of rhythm, right? So this game next week against Taylor is a chance to do that. Here goes Dow.
He's
got him on the outside.
And he does. He finds his receiver on the far side. Flag comes out. That pass was caught down the left sideline by Jake Coleman.
I think you're going to have an ineligible downfield. Might be on Iams. That's the only thing with Dow, who's more of the athlete of the two, which Cassiola, we saw it last year early in the season, runs well.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 56. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That was Ryan Iams. Great call there, Jared.
But the difference between the two Qs is Dow is a player that's going to look to his legs a little quicker than what Cassiola is. So as the O-line, you kind of get used to that, right? Oh, Dow's back here. Oh, he started to scramble. Okay, let's get downfield, try to get that block. Oh, he stopped and decided to throw it. So that's something you're going to see, which is pretty consistent throughout the country with scrambling quarterbacks. But Dayton opens up the PFL schedule. Again, not to look ahead, but with the defending champs. So, not the defending champs, but your longtime rival, San Diego. Here goes Neal.
And there's Neal up the middle of the field into Marauder territory.
Something to keep an eye on, the center.
Yeah, Dylan DeMason lost his helmet, so Joe Lansing, the backup center, going to have to come in for this play.
And on that drive, that possession that Dayton had trouble with, it was being won at that nose tackle position over DeMason. Obviously, we saw the injury a little bit ago that happened to Toloa. So we'll see what Central State's backups can do here, but that's an area to kind of keep in mind.
2nd and 4 after the penalty on first down. Neal running right up the gut. nowhere to go, back to midfield.
And right away, tried to go back up the middle, behind the reserve center to no avail. Tristan Duncan for Central State leads the charge and is able to get around Lansing and make the tackle in the backfield.
Pretty good crowd here, Jared, for the home opener. Down below us here in the press box, the Dayton side of the stands all filled up pretty much, and Central State bringing a nice crowd on the other side.
3rd and 5. What does Dayton do?
Dow on a keeper, trying to get the first down. He does, and he slips into Marauder territory. A late flag comes in. There have been a lot of penalties so far in this game.
In this one, I think you'll see on the replay here, hands up near the shoulders, but 43 for Central State coming in, leading with the head. I think they might get him for a target type call.
Devin Buskin, the freshman from Detroit.
Plays a free safety position. Detroit, how about them Lions?
How about them Lions, Jared? Your boys. Had a way to open the football season the other night.
Yes, it is.
There's no foul for targeting on the play. Result of the play, first down, Dayton.
Well, Dayton picks up the first down. They pick up the flag, though.
So all in all, what you kind of hope for out of that situation, right? So Dow is still in the game. So there's still that threat of that QB power. You've got some bigger bodies up front. Tight end is Kevin Robertson, the biggest of their tight ends. Cade Beam is the up back, and then you got Hanson, the biggest of the backs. Here we go, QB power.
Dow trying to run. He runs into 3 Marauders. Tries to get that late push. That was Zachary McDowell there trying to come over and help him out. Under a minute to play, about 30 seconds left, and it was kind of a long first quarter.
Yes, it was.
Going on
I had to double check there.
Going on about
the first half.
45 minutes here for the first quarter, but it's picked up the pace as Dayton has kept the ball on the ground here on this drive.
Well, that's to go back to Central State, right? When you throw the ball the entire time, it prolongs the game.
Handed off again, coming around this near sideline and pushed out of bounds. That was Hanson on a nice run. 5 seconds left in the first quarter.
You can see one carry with Hanson there. You can see how tough he runs. First contact doesn't bring him down. Second contact doesn't bring him down. They just get lucky the sideline was there.
That is the end.
That's the end of the first quarter. So, Jared, overall impressions here as we wrap up the first quarter. Pretty impressive first quarter for the Flyers.
They've come in and done what they've needed to do. The first 2 or 3 drives, I would say, I was most impressed with on defense was, okay, Central State just had a big win last week. A lot of confidence, they did a lot of good things. Can you come out and keep them corralled? Because they can get real pass happy, which they were able to do. Keep them behind the chains, get the ball back to your offense in a short field position, and the offense did what you're supposed to do, right? Play complementary football, get the short field, let's go down and score. Get the ball back, defense 3 and out, go down and score it again. So all in all, complementary football, that's going to be huge, especially not for a young team, because they're not young, but with new coaching staff, as you're still learning, right? You have to go against the defense for the last however many years. They haven't really had to think because it's been the same stuff that they've run. So they've been able to just react and play fast. So now you have some new verbiage. So it's going to take just a little bit before you kind of go break through some of those previous habits, right? On offense, it's the 3rd year of a new offensive system. Okay, new play caller, new verbiage. So can you just play complementary? Can you establish some sort of rhythm, right? Start to establish that identity of who you're going to be for this season. So far, a lot of things that are positive to look forward to. I still think it's a little skewed just in regards of you are playing an opponent that coming into the game on paper it should be this type of first quarter. So still not exactly sure who Dayton is kind of going forward, but again, that's a young season. That's what you're going to have, right? So a lot of things to look forward to right now. You had some different ways of scoring too. It hasn't just been all one guy, so I think that's a positive to look forward. Laco has a nice little underneath that turns up and scores. Then you hit the tight end in the hole on the sideline, and then you have your next in line running back, Michael Neal, that breaks a big one. So I think there's a lot to look forward to here if you're Dayton.
Third down and short. Run down the left side and
trips.
Goldal trips. Otherwise, he would have had a lot more room to run.
Speaking of athletes, in Dow, testing-wise, when they did the 40 this last year, he was in the top 5 fastest guys on the team. And you can see here, great cut, just trips over McDowell. Otherwise, it would have been,
you can see the frustration, too,
yes,
pounding the turf.
But nice job by McDowell, the freshman, pulling around and getting up on that second level.
Offense looking over to the sideline.
McDowell, relatively local product out of Columbus, Ohio, went to Olatanji Orange. Nice
over
throw.
the middle of the field and
Ouch.
a massive hit leveled on Sam Bubonics, who's slow to get up.
And if anything, that should be the one that gets looked at for targeting. That's
official's timeout for an injured player.
Bubonics quickly to his feet.
Now that's tough, right? I said, oh, that should be the one looked at for targeting in real time. Maybe, but watching it, those are those plays that are difficult as a defensive player because you're coming in anticipating this guy being on his feet, and all of a sudden at the last second, his level drops.
Yep.
And you're already committed to where you're going to tackle him, and it was a shoulder. Bubonics dropped as he was catching the ball, was already just trying to just maintain possession to the ground, and catches a shoulder across the face. Shake him up a little bit. He had a big hit last week as well.
Montego Johnson there.
But prior to that, though, that's a nice play by this Flyers offense, a nice little inside slant.
1st and 10 from the 16.
Oof.
Not much room. And another late flag.
It's a nice hit by one of the defensive backs, Dominic David II. Transfer from Lenore Rhine.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 58, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's Mel's
That is number 58's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game.
Transfer in from Iowa Western Community College.
The 3 technique for Central State. Tell you what, man, Central State on the D line, they got some size. Perkins, number 92, 300 pounds. Toloa, the was injured earlier, 300 pounds. I mean, that's tough to move. And these guys are pretty athletic as well. So I mean, that's the prototype for a nose tackle. That's exactly what you want.
1st and goal for the Flyers. First time we've had a goal-to-go situation in the game today. Flyers touchdowns have all been well beyond the sticks.
It's a nice hard run.
Yeah, Hansen stacked up, but picked up 3. He's down to the 6-yard line.
Well, and now you're starting to see that wrinkle. Dayton's been in this same formation and personnel grouping a few times, and it's led to a Dow run. This time he hands it off to Hansen. And when you do that, you got a couple of Marauders defenders that are keying off of that number 8, so it opens up a couple of holes for Hansen. I think we're going to see a nice little zone read with Neal.
Free play here. They throw to the end zone on the fade, and it is caught. Oh, my goodness, what a catch in the corner of the end zone by Joey Swanson. The 4th touchdown of the day for the Flyers is a spectacular one.
And that's a guy, 2 years ago, Swanson was huge.
Offside. Defense, number 92, in the neutral zone at the snap. The penalties decline. Result of the play, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, Joey Swanson come on strong in his sophomore campaign 2 years ago. Last season, the Dayton offense, it's no secret, they struggled through the air. All right, if it wasn't Chisholm, it didn't really have much for offense. So not that he went quiet, but just didn't have as many opportunities. One target today, 1 touchdown. That's what you want. But to go back to, I love this. We're back to if the defense jumps, take the free play. couple years ago, you'd see the offensive linemen, they would move and react off of the defense just to get the 5 yards. Just going, what are you doing? Take the free play. That's the whole point of catching them in the neutral zone is you get that chance at the end zone. And right there, Dayton capitalized off it. Great pass from Dow. Great catch by Swanson.
So 12:43 to go in the first half. And the Dayton Flyers are in full control of this game, up 27-0 right now.
Doing a lot of good things. Doing a lot of good things. This is what you're hoping to have as a response from last week's game. And again, just keep it going, right? Because again, you don't want to just we're up 28-0 or 27-0, throw in the reserves, right? You're still trying to get that rhythm, get that identity on both sides of the ball. So far, heading the right direction.
Marne to kick it away. Have not seen one. Actually, we have seen one kickoff return. The other 3 have been well into the end zone. This time it's from right to left. It's deep. This is returnable. And it will be taken out. Going down the far sideline, Kenneth Brew. And he is hit hard. Another nice tackle there on the special teams unit from Dayton. Just trying to come in, make a play, and they do in pretty efficient order there from Ricky Wolverton.
That wasn't Wolverton, that was Lampron. We were talking about him before game. Yep, one of the backup linebackers, number 33.
Oh, you're right. I was looking down the line there.
Yeah, it
looked like a 77.
It's happened to me quite a few times.
When those jerseys get bunched up in the middle,
it's tough to see.
Sometimes it's a little tough to see.
But nice play by
why you're here, Jared.
Nice play by Arthur. Different little wrinkle from Central State. Not really having much luck running the ball, so they try a little shuffle pass.
And again, Jared, Central State's still looking for their first down of the day.
Definitely a difficult change from last week. A little pump and go.
Fake, late hit. And a catch is made. There it was, finally on the connection for Central State. A catch made by T.J. Gregory.
Nice job. Nice job sitting in the pocket, right in the face of the pressure, and unleashing a great ball downfield that only your guy can go up and get.
Keep the offense up in a hurry. Now coming right side. Ooh. And that pass almost intercepted.
Man. Coming in on it was number 41, Nick Greaser, the transfer from grad transfer from IU. He almost was able to get a pick.
And now coming over the middle of the field on a run. Another quick play from the offense.
And another Arthur making the stop. This time getting in the backfield. But Central State, right, we talked about it, Paul. The reason why you can't really take the foot off the gas is they have this quick strike type of ability. And finally, Lewis was able to actually get a ball to his receiver downfield and not overthrow him. And already they're knocking on the door.
Lewis waiting. Rolling out right. Looking, and has a pass complete. Again, marching down the field, and the pass complete to Micah Lowe.
And this is the Central State we saw last week against Mississippi Valley State, of just getting back up on the ball, keeping the defense kind of on their heels a little bit, and not just running, drop back. This time it's a rollout. Now we have a play action.
And this is intercepted. A flag comes in, but it's intercepted by Matt Lenti. We'll see if this play stands.
I think it's going to come back. I think they're going to get Dayton for hands downfield. Not necessarily pass interference. I think that might be what they call, but the two safeties there, Lenti and Hildebrand, kind of converged at the same time. I didn't see the number of the intended
pass interference.
receiver.
Defense, number 35. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
It's supposed to be 39, Hildebrand. 35 graduated. That was captain last year, Ben Schmeezing. Yeah, it looked like Hildebrand got his hands on the intended receiver just before Lenny undercut it. And here we go. Marauders knocking on the door.
First and goal from the 10-yard line for the Marauders. Another goal-to-go situation. They go to the end zone. It's up, and it is caught.
Wow, what a catch.
Jeremiah Flores on the reception for the touchdown. And maybe the Marauders here making some noise with 10:13 to go before the half.
And that right there is just confidence in your guy, knowing that he's better. Hey, I'm going to put it up. You go make a play. Nice job. Pitch and catch from Lewis to Flores. And that's something, we kind of talked about it prior to the game, Paul, of areas on the Dayton defense that you want to see improve. Last few years, right, we haven't had the best, I shouldn't say the best at corner, but just aggressive tenacity. And on that one, Central State can see it on film. Toss the ball up, you're probably going to have a better chance coming down with it than against other corners. So if you're Dayton, you got to figure that out, because right now you've got two solid safeties, or I shouldn't say two. You're solid at the safety position with Hildebrand, Lenti, and Miller kind of being that third guy in the rotation. Linebacker, you're really solid right now. Defensive line, you're also solid. But it's on that outside. That's the question mark that I have going forward for this Dayton defense. Not only this season, but into the future.
Dayton with a chance to return a kickoff for the first time today. That scoring drive for Central State, 5 plays, 85 yards, took just 2:25 off the clock. Now Dayton up 27-7. Dayton has scored a touchdown, I believe, on every drive so far today. Had the ball 4 times. They've scored 4 times.
I believe, wasn't there a 4th down play that they were unsuccessful on the conversion?
You're right.
It was on that kind of goofy possession they had with a bunch of penalties. Ooh, Central State, you can tell right now, that's all it took.
Little
Dayton
momentum
better be ready, because Central State woke up.
Yeah, you could see over on that far side, part of the special teams unit. So 4 of the 5 possessions for Dayton.
Still, great production.
But I think touchdowns on 80% of drives, any coach will take that.
Yep.
10:13 to go in this first half.
And so far, this is probably the most pivotal drive that Dayton's going to have, because Central State, that last drive, it wasn't so much the drive. Obviously, the score, yes, that's huge. But it was that first play, that deep pass to where Lewis got smacked in the face. And they make it a great catch. That was huge. That got him invigorated, got him going.
There's a nice run up the middle that goes for about 5 yards for Michael Neal.
And to me, with what you have as Dayton, kind of your identity is running the ball. This is exactly what you do, right? You just took a punch from Central State. What do? Let's come back. Let's establish who you are. We're going to run the ball up the middle. Our O-line's better than your D-line, and our back is better. And that's a great first down play. Puts you at 2nd and 5.
It's Dante Cassiola under center.
I think you're going to see another dose of Neal. Oh, they give it to Locko.
Motion. Locko up the sideline. Locko with room to run across the 50 and tackled out of bounds. Locko already with a touchdown today. And Locko tackled out at the 47.
And you can see just what has this Dayton coaching staff excited about Locko. Again, true freshman out of West Virginia, former quarterback, and made the transition seamlessly over to wide receiver. Just an athlete, get him the ball, find different ways. He's a guy that you drop plays for. So far, that's all he's done is produce.
Into Dayton territory, or rather into Central State territory. Pass out far side it goes to Derek Willits. A couple of targets to him today.
Willits is he's in his 5th year, and one thing that he's really provided Dayton on offense has been consistency. More of a possession-type wide receiver. Hey, we need a catch. We know if we give it to Willis, number 8-7 there, he's going to get us that catch.
Deep drop for Cassiola, and he can't get out of the rush. A sack from the Marauders.
Man.
That was Robert Love on the sack, and you can hear the coaching room. We're right next to the coaches' room here.
For Central State.
You can hear them fired up.
Well, and this is just, you can see on the top side of the screen, both McDowell and Iams, the guard and the tackle on the right side of the line for Dayton, just get beat. Nothing special. It's second and short, plus out of the 50. A lot of times you're going to see an offense take a shot on that type of play. Central State bet that they were going to do that, and they were right, and they beat Dayton on that one.
Two receivers wide, and a very low throw comes out from Cassiola. And we'll see what Dayton elects to do if they keep Cassiola on the field, if they punt it away. This is 4th and very long. It will be a punt. First punt of the day for Dayton. Danny Baker, the punter for the Flyers. But it won't be Dayton. It won't be Baker here for Dayton. This is Logan Forkham.
Yeah, Baker did all the punting in the opener.
Forkham, wobbly punt, and that goes down to the 25-yard line.
There's a penalty flag come far side of the field from one of the back judges. Not quite sure what this is going to be. Potentially a holding. I think that's the right call, though, there in terms of punting it away for your Dayton. You got Central State starting to get a little momentum, starting to get some energy back. Get a big defensive stop, put you really behind the chains. Okay, let's just get the ball, get our defense back out there, let them go to work. As it is, this might. See what they call.
Yeah, long discussion. You can see
Coach Andrews on the near sideline out there talking with the head linesman. Is that a legal substitution? Is that what the signal was?
Illegal substitution. Receiving team, 12 players on the field. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 4th down.
So Dayton will get another chance to punt it away unless they decide to go for it. They will keep the punt team on the field.
Yeah, I think that's what you need to do here. You're just hoping to pin them back a little deeper. You know, at this stage of the game, you don't need anything crazy. You just need to be consistent, right? Get a nice little inside the 20 punt. Get your defense out there. Just have a nice, solid stop on defense. But hopefully out of the shadow of their own goalposts.
4th and 8.
A little bit of redemption for Forkham, too, because that was not a great hit on that last attempt. We'll see if Central State comes at him, though. Lined up like they're going to.
Here comes the rush. Plenty of time. End over end on the kick. It's caught. Returned from the 14. And then finally pushed out of bounds. Brock didn't really get all that far up the field, but he ran a long way to go out to the far side.
And if you're Dayton, you had one of the receivers, Brian Dolby, down there for first contact. You want to make that tackle, but overall, nice job, as you mentioned, Paul, stretching it out, making him have to go the long way to try to get some positive yards, and there's got the ball inside the 20. So punt team did its job, turning it over to this very, very capable defensive unit. Something to think about, though. Central State has had success in the slot, right? So you got on the near side a nice little 7-yard cushion, on the top side a nice little 7-yard cushion. Can they exploit that?
Comes the rush, and the pass is incomplete. Looking down the far sideline. Again, that was a good coverage there from Logan Miller. The pass is underthrown, and I'll tell you what, Jared.
It's that slot position. That's they're getting a free release. They're getting a lot of speed coming downhill at these safeties.
If Alec Lewis could put a little more air under the ball, this would be an entirely different ball game. I don't know if it's arm strength or if it's accuracy, but either way, Lewis is not giving his receivers much of a chance. This one caught over the middle of the field.
I'm gonna give that last throw. The defense, they brought the house. I think he got somebody's hand as he was releasing it, but the other ones, yeah, I'm not sure. I know the wind, I was down on the field level before the game. The wind in Welcome Stadium is always a little screwy. We used to call it the wind bowl back when I was playing, so it changes direction sometimes. Sometimes it keeps the ball in the air a little longer than you think. There it is.
Lewis this time overthrows his receiver. Again looking on that far sideline. This time just too far out of the reach of Michael Lowe.
Well, in Alex, man, not Alex, Paul. Excuse me, Alex Mikas is the other play-by-play guy for the Flyers. But Paul, right there, you know, Central State has exactly what they want. They have an advantage in the slot. They've been able to get guys open downfield. It's come back to what you said. Lewis is just not getting it there. For whatever reason, that time he got the ball there, but it was a drop. You know, so it's a completely different ball game if they're able to connect on any of these. You saw it on that last drive. They connected on it, and they went down and scored.
Bubonics back to receive. Maybe the best punt of the day from Central State. Bubonics does receive the punt, and he is hit and dropped immediately by Melvin Howard.
Well, in a positive for Flyers fans, Bubonics was back out there after that hit he took on that offensive possession a couple of series ago. But great punt. He's done a nice job all day. Jose Chairs, sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia, does both the kicking and the punting duties for Central State. After Dayton blocked the first punt. The second punt, he rushed it because Dayton was close again. But after that, he settled in, and he's done a nice job.
I'll be interested, Jared, to see how they attack this drive because Dayton does get the football out of the half. Maybe you keep the ball on the ground here a little bit, take some time off, and make it hard for Central State to score again. But to do that, you're going to have to go forward, not backward. And
you got to get the
stack up in the background, in the backfield, rather.
In that, you got to win at the right tackle position. Iams just gets beat again. You know, he kind of touched on it at the beginning. Dayton a little hampered with injuries on the offensive line, but still very capable guys up there right now. That's the second time in as many series that Iams has gotten beat.
It's a loss of 6 for the Flyers. 2nd and 16. Gasiola rolling out, and he overthrows his intended receiver there on that play, Derek Willits.
That's a great play design. You did a nice job on the near side. You had twins, man coverage. Both those receivers run off, and you bring Willits in the flat, and just little too far. If Casiola could put it on him, just a nice little waggle play. Willits is going to run, get close to that first down marker. As it is, though, we talked about it with Dayton defense. Central State is able to put Dayton behind the chains, put them into an obvious passing down. Dayton's showing a screen out of this type of situation. We'll see if they do it again.
Casiola stepping up in the pocket, coming over the middle of the field. That play, a completion to Laco. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Be 1 yard short of it. 5-yard pass, but now it's 4th and very long, and that took only a minute off the clock.
Something that is a little concerning for me, you know, thinking about if I'm a Flyers coaching staff going forward. The only couple of times it's been an obvious passing situation for Dayton, Central State's brought 4, and they've been able to get pressure on the quarterback in both situations. So offensive line is going to need to clean that up moving forward.
Great spiraling punt that takes a very pro-Dayton roll all the way to the 19-yard line.
Paul, we've had a lot of action, and it's only been about a minute off the clock.
Yes.
And we're right back to where we were two possessions ago. A ball inside the 20 with Central State.
Yep.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Central State's going to find something downfield in a slot situation. Can Lewis get it to him is a different question.
Yeah, they've continued to try that down their sideline on the far side of the field.
Into the short side. Again, I think you keep going there because it's open. They just got to get him the ball.
This time, swing pass out here right. A lot of room to run and goes out of bounds late. That's Dinah, a running back from Fontana, California. Transfer in from Citrus College.
A good little play call there. Been running out of a twin set the whole day. A lot of times really spacing him out. They brought him in a little tighter. Nice pressure.
Back to the right side. That pass incomplete. There in the area was Brandon Brock.
And Dayton doing a little bit of their own on the defensive line. They called themselves the Bloodline. Getting pressure with 4. Troy Reisner able to pressure Lewis into a bad throw. Look for the deep crosser over the middle.
Looking right side, going through his progression. The pass incomplete, but a lot of contact. And a flag comes in. Genazzo there on the coverage.
You know, do you want to see that if you're Dayton? No. But, again, going back to kind of not being as aggressive out on the corner, you love it because hopefully that means, okay.
Pass interference. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
You know, which would you rather take? Would you rather take the receiver always being able to go up and make an easy catch because it's uncontested because your guy's scared to get a penalty, or would you rather have the aggressive? I'd rather have guys making aggressive mistakes versus passive. But I think if Lewis holds that ball a little longer, he had a crosser coming from the top.
Pitches in underhand. That ball falling incomplete.
And they had something there, too.
Yeah, Dino was
The result of the play is an incomplete forward pass. Second down.
Great play call. Just, again, a lot of good play calls out of this Marauders offense. Just the execution hasn't been there consistently.
Dayton home again next week before going on the road. Home opener here this afternoon. Leading by 3 touchdowns right now. Go out left. Pass is caught and a tackle made pretty quickly. Nice play there from the Dayton defensive back.
I think that was Greaser, the corner. Yep, number 41, Nick Greaser, grad transfer out of IU. He's come in, provided just solid, steady play out of that. Kind of that 5th corner type position, 5th defensive back, the nickel back. Oh, man, that was setting up for a massive hit from Coleman.
Zay Price able to slide forward almost to the first down marker.
He got close. They're not going to give him a good spot at all. I thought he got a lot farther than that.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Jared, if he may have stepped on the sideline as he tried to propel his momentum.
I think you're right, Paul.
And that means it's 4th down.
So
big
far,
decision here for the Marauders.
Your Dayton defensive line, you got to hold. You can't, for obvious reasons, right? You can't jump off sides, but see what they do.
Big play in this game. High snap. Play goes out right. Dayton snuffs it out, but now coming all the way back across the field, and he gets the first down and more. That was Brandon Brock. That play looked dead on arrival, but he ran all the way across the field to get the first down.
And honestly, the only credit you can give is to Brock on that because the Dayton defense had it snuffed out. You can see on the replay here, 4 Flyers in the backfield. Unfortunately, 2 of them take each other out, and Brock is able to beat Genazzo to the edge, prolong the drive.
Pass out right. That's complete. Brock again. And Marauder offense, which had 0 life in the first quarter, didn't pick up a first down. There were penalties all over the place, incompletions, negative runs. It looks a whole lot different here in the second quarter.
Well, they've seen some life. They had some success. Last drive is when they went down and scored? No, 2 drives ago, excuse me. They 3 and outed last drive. He's got him at the top.
Play to the end zone, and it is incomplete off the fingertips of the intended receiver down there on the far side of the field. That's low again.
You know, this is going to be a Central State goes back and watches this game film. They're going to see head coach Kevin Porter. They're going to be telling his guys, look, it's not necessarily that Dayton went out and beat us. We just gave them a bunch of extra opportunities.
Less than 3 minutes to go before the half. Dayton gets the ball to start the second half. Marauders trying to make this a 2-score game. Nice little wheel play out right. Goes out of bounds. An incomplete pass. Couldn't get there. Dinah couldn't stay in.
And I'll tell you right now, this Dayton defense is guessing a little bit. They're on their heels. So, again, another situation where the play before, you have a drop in the end zone. That's 6. This time, you just lead them just a little too wide. Both plays should have been positive for the Marauders. Dayton sitting here thanking them. You're at 4th and short. Wouldn't be shocked to see. They haven't shown it, but some sort of QB power sneak. It's just something to get a yard.
4th and 1. And a pass to Lowe is complete. Out to the numbers. Tackle made by Michael Franks for Dayton. Clock keeps moving and the chains keep moving.
Central State showing some resiliency, showing some fight.
Left hash for Lewis and the offense. He looks right, then comes back left, and a huge hit is leveled by Karan Coleman.
That's a nice tackle. Nice job by Coleman. Trusting his cues, making his read, and playing fast, coming downhill, making a nice secure tackle for looks like a 1-yard loss. Nice job. I think you got to look near side of the field, though, Alex. You got Flores down there against Janazo. That's who he had success on the touchdown catch. Now you got the stack. They've had success on the little slant to the inside. There's a lot open space in front of Franks.
Gives the ball away. Nowhere to go on 2nd and 11 for Dinah. And now all of a sudden, with 90 seconds to go in the half, think about maybe what you're going to do here to finish off this drive. It's 3rd down. I haven't seen a timeout taken yet in this half, and the Marauders will take
first
their
charge timeout, Central State.
I mean, you have 2 plays here, and you get down to the end zone, and this is a situation where you don't want to come up with no points, right? Because Dayton gets the ball to start the second half. If you score a touchdown here and you hold Dayton, it's a 2-score game. If you fail to score and Dayton comes out and scores a touchdown on the first drive of the second half, that changes the whole dynamic of the second half.
Yes, it does. And factoring into that as well is just the confidence portion, right? If you can go down and make a huge play here, again, they don't have to score on this play because they can get a first down and get another set of downs, but it's that confidence, right? I think if you come to the near side and Flores has success over Janazo, that might be where you go the rest of the game, right? Yeah. If you can complete one of those in the slot, that's huge. But if Dayton can have a good defensive play, individual effort type play from one of their players, obviously it's going to swing back in Dayton's favor. So if I'm Central State, the 2 areas that you've had success, Flores over Janazo, it's resulted in a PI against Janazo and then a touchdown catch, and then Lowe in the slot. And they go
out left, and some room to run, and slipping through tackles is Dinah. Room to run, and he stays on his feet. He's pushed out of bounds.
I'll be honest, though, that's not what I had on my bingo card for that play. I'll be honest. I thought with what they had on the near sideline, I thought that was where they're going.
Now it's 4th down, and it looks like they'll go for it, but they'll spend another
second charge timeout, Central State.
Yeah, this is where it gets difficult, too, is if you're Central State in terms of your identity is aired out past the ball. So now you're getting into situations where it's not that they can't run the ball. It's just they're a pass-happy offense. That's what they are. That's what they do, kind of a run and shoot, so to speak. So you get to situations where, with what you have for personnel, it's difficult to get into some of those. Dayton is able to throw 2 or 3 tight ends out there, say, hey, we're going to move you off this line of scrimmage and let our backs run in behind. Central State doesn't have that ability with their personnel.
And if Dayton is able to get a stop here, run the ball, run out the clock, and get the ball to start the second half. It'd be a huge momentum swing.
Yes, it would. And something to keep in mind, too, is Dayton running out the ball, or running out the clock by running the ball, it can still pop a big one. We saw it with Neal in the first quarter.
I don't see Lewis on the field. They're going to kick the field goal.
Or attempt, at least. We'll see if it's a fake. I think you just got to go for points like you're talking about, Paul. You give up too much with not coming away with something here.
Jose Kyers, the place kicker.
Ooh, and they hit him. Man,
through the uprights, but you're right, Jared. Very close to running into the kicker.
Way too close. That's what it would have ended up being, which wouldn't have given them the first down. But
now with 75 seconds left in the half, Dayton probably take a couple of runs and then see if maybe you can break one off.
So this is, I think, a situation, Paul, of we're going to start to see the difference in mentality from the head coach. Under Coach Chamberlain, this type of situation, a lot of times they come out and kneel it, take it into halftime, right? So we'll see a little bit of who Coach Andrews is going to be as a coach. But I think you're right, Paul. You come out, you have a strong running game. You go to your bread and butter. If something pops, awesome. If all of a sudden you rattle off some, big chunk play and put you into an area where you can take a shot, yeah, you do it. But other than that, you just go to a couple of your bread and butter plays and kind of, I don't want to say resort to taking this lead into the halftime, but just, hey, if nothing else happens for us in terms of putting us in position to score, this is how we're going to go to halftime, is 27-10.
So 10 unanswered from Central State. Touchdown, then the field goal. They drove down the field and only got the 3.
Been an interesting game so far.
14 plays, 60 yards.
Squib kick.
Squib it. And a hard hit as that one is returned by Luke Hansen. Now, 70 seconds left.
I think we see a little dose of Michael Neal.
Michael Neal off the right shoulder of Cassiola. Bubonics down here in the slot. They go to him.
He had him.
And it's incomplete. Better throw, and they would have had him.
All right, so we're seeing Coach Andrews is an aggressive coach, which I like. Not content with just taking this lead in. He wants to go in on a high note.
That took 4 seconds off the clock. Neal off the left shoulder gets the ball here, and he's stacked up. There's only one timeout left for Central State. Dayton has all 3 of theirs.
Nice play by Carter off the edge from that buck position. He's making a sure tackle.
It'll be 3rd down. I'm going to say if they snap that before the 40-second mark on the game clock, they would have had to run another play. Now they don't have to, but they'll be passing over the middle of the field. Pass is caught.
Ooh.
And a strong hit.
Down. Oh, my goodness. That's just bad field awareness.
Jake Coleman there, and a timeout taken from Central State.
You go from
final charge timeout, Central State.
Man, that you want that one back, especially if you're Coleman, but know where the first down marker is, because Coleman, all he had to do was just go into that tackle.
Please reset the game clock to 20 seconds. 2-0.
Try to stick his foot in the ground and make a move, and he slips and puts him a yard short of a first down. You know, those are the kind of Those are the kind of plays you see out of young players, but earlier in the season, not out of Coleman, who's a returning, played a lot last year. I believe might be a senior this year.
Please reset the game clock
Richard Jr.
to 20 seconds.
Senior in the class,
0,
junior on
2,
the field.
0.
I tell you what, Paul, I'll be glad when we get done with all of the COVID eligibility.
Yes.
That has been very difficult to keep track of who has what, how many years left, and yes, it has been confusing.
I've heard the referee ask to reset the game clock a couple of times, and now it does. 20 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, and this is, we're talking about, okay, what do you do before the half? Well, you definitely have to get a first down. You don't really plan for 4th and 1.
Well, they're going to
obviously can't kneel it. Oh no, they're out of timeouts, but it changes with the change of possession.
Keep the offense on the field.
They have to get the first down if they don't want Central State to get the ball back.
First down will end the half,
or somehow run around for 20 seconds. It's going to be a sneak.
See if they even elect to snap this ball.
Oh, wow. Good heads-up play by that. Wow. I don't know if that was drawn up, but tight end Alec
First charge timeout.
Sure did look like he was jumping off sides, and he just lines up and gets set. So I'm thinking that you mentioned it, Paul. I think that was all designed to draw them off sides. But I tell you what, I thought that was going to be I thought they were going to flag him for the false start.
So now Dayton can punt it away with 20 seconds to go.
So think back to the last punt Dayton had. Central State was able to get a pretty decent little return out of it. Dolby missed the initial tackle, but Lowe was able to stretch it out and kind of get something. Point being, if you're Dayton, right, you got to throw the net. You got to be ready to tackle him right off the bat. Excuse me, it wasn't Lowe, it was Morrison. Zay Morrison back there.
Central State out of timeouts. End over end kick. Fair catch is made at the 25-yard line. And they will have 15 seconds. Maybe take a couple of shots. But again, no timeouts. So they'd have to play very quickly.
Well, I think they know how to do that.
Yeah, I would say so. Given what we've seen.
Had a couple of drives
here.
that have been 15 seconds.
That's true.
But Dayton, right, you've been having trouble getting in behind you. You got to keep it in front of you. You've been fortunate that some of these times they've gotten behind you that they haven't completed the ball, but got to keep it in front of you here. All right, there you go.
And Central State takes a knee. They elect not to run a play, and we will go into the half. The Flyers, a very convincing first quarter. Not as convincing in the second quarter, but still a 17-point lead for Dayton. They asserted themselves early. Central State rebounded in the second quarter, put 10 unanswered points on the board.
Dayton's going to have to come out of halftime and just put together, obviously you need to score, right, in order to kind of really assert yourself in the second half and kind of kill some hope that Central State might have. But I think you got to put together a nice, solid, steady drive, right? Just obviously, if you get a quick hitter touchdown, you'll take that. But I think you want to see just a nice matriculated down the field, picking up first downs all the way down to kind of put your mark on the rest of this game.
So we will step away here for the half as the marching bands get ready to play. We will turn down our microphones and let you listen to the music for the next 20 minutes. We'll be back for the third quarter after this.
Good job, talent. Thank you. Invincible.
Go ahead. Good.
1 second.
Available from Dayton's squad to come over here for the officials, or I can try to find one from Central State for the quad injury.
I was waiting on the guys to get off the field.
All right, I'll look.
Appreciate it. Invincible. Incapable of being conquered.
overcome, subdue, ready, focus. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present the often, as we've seen today, imitated but never duplicated, invincible, marching Marauders. Let's give high definition. Our drum majors is drum major Waha, a.k.a. the executive producer, drum major Harvey, a.k.a. the silent assassin, and drum major Johnson Jewel, a.k.a. the poetic prodigy. Together, they make up the vision of perfection. We're going to kick things off with a little bit of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Boogie, Wonder, Wind. Central State University, located at President. We can drill in silence as well. And now, introducing 2023 of the ultimate treasure flag line. We're going to slow things down today with baby faces, whip appeal. The Central State University Bells, getting down to bad girl identity game.
University of Dayton Marching Band is under the direction of Kenneth Will. The assistant director is James Leslie. The color guard director is Sarah Hopkins. Students, alumni, family, and friends, the University of Dayton is proud to present the Pride of Dayton! Now, we'll throw it back to 1996 in Super Mario 64. We feature James Leslie, the University of Dayton's Professor of Percussion and Assistant Director for the Pride of Dayton on Baba on Battlefield.
Get ready for the start of the second half here from Welcome Stadium in Dayton, Ohio. Paul Fritchner, Jared Phillips with you. And after half number one, it is a 27-10 Dayton lead. An imposing first quarter, but Central State fought back in the second quarter. And here's how it all went down. It was a touchdown on the opening drive of the game for Dayton. A pretty nice pass down the left side of the field to Gavin Locko. And it was Dayton who just defensively took their foot and put it right in the ground, made a stand. Dayton again coming down the right side of the field. And it was a pass complete, another touchdown. Alec Keithley there. But a low pass and incompletion. Fight back. How do you respond? You keep the drive moving. Long run for Michael Neal. Another touchdown for the Flyers. 20 unanswered points to begin the game. And then the fourth and final touchdown that was scored for Dayton came on that Swanson 6-yard pass. It was these pitch outs, the defensive stands from Dayton doing what they could. Jared, all afternoon long so far. Central State fighting back, trying to get back into this game, down by 17. And it's a ball game now.
And so far, Dayton has shown some complimentary football. You can see in those clips a lot of good defensive plays, usually followed by good offensive plays or vice versa. That was really the only bright spot for Central State with the catch by Flores. But this has been much of the same for the rest of the time for Dayton's defense, has been able to get key stops when they've needed to. And the offense has gone out and scored points.
Here we go. Dayton will receive the second half kickoff.
So if you're Dayton, right, just watching kind of how the end of that first half kind of finished. Paul touched on it. Dayton's scored all these unanswered points, and it's followed up with 10 unanswered by Central State. They kind of got a little momentum going their direction. If you're Dayton, you need to come out here and just have one of those kind of assertive drives of, hey, we're winning this football game. This is how it's going to be. Set the tone for the rest of this game. I'd like to see just a nice, long, march it down the field, just picking up first down after first down. Now, that being said, if you bust a big one, you'll love it too, but something to just kind of take chokehold of this game.
Return up the right sideline and tripped up. Nice play made as that return came out from Michael Neal.
A nice tackle. Good open field tackle, because if he doesn't get there, I think Neal's still running for a little bit. It looked like that was Anthony Mack from Central State making the play, number 24.
We'll see Dayton's offense out there to get this second half going.
So Dayton is starting to see a little trouble offensively on the right side of the line towards the end of that first half. So did the halftime adjustments. Honestly, might not have been an adjustment. Might have just been somebody getting into those guys and saying, hey, you're better than this.
Formation.
Step up.
Kicking team, number 28. Line up more than 5 yards from the scrimmage kick line, free kick line. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down, Dayton.
Jared, there have been a lot of penalties in this game.
You'd almost think it was the first game of the season based on those type of penalties. Illegal substitution earlier for Central State. And we've had a couple of pass interference, one each direction. But we have a couple of holdings on the Flyers and ineligible downfield. But there's been a couple that are just clerical type errors.
Run up the middle on first down. A really good run there for Luke Hansen.
Right there. That's exactly how you come out of that. Didn't finish the half the way you wanted to, but that's how you come back. You say, all right, big boys up front, open the hole. We're going to run right through it. Now you're looking at second and short. Whole playbook's open.
From the 41-yard line, Cassiola looks to the sideline. Has Hansen behind him.
I think you're going to see another dose of Hansen here.
Hansen gets the ball, runs out left, has nice blocking.
Great block.
He's tackled by Dominic David II.
Kind of the key to that play right there. Number 80, Alec Keithley, the tight end, out on the edge, getting a huge block against the buck for Central State. Carlos Carter, number 8, big body out there. Keithley did a nice job of keeping him outside and letting Hanson run underneath.
Now it's Neal on the carry, and he fights his way forward up to the 49.
Good first down play. Good fight from Neal, as you said, Paul, because he had contact right at the line of scrimmage where he was able to fall forward, pick up about 4. Dow comes in. Here comes the QB power. That's my guess. I'm going to keep this ball on the ground and really kind of assert.
And not the worst thing in the world, taking some time, too. Drives have been a little shorter today. Go out left. There's Neal running down the left sideline. A lot of room to run. Stays on his feet inside the 35-yard line, down to the 30.
You see the exclamation point at the end of the run by Neal. Just great little zone read, kind of like a counter. Action on the line, you see Neal at the end just throwing the big stiff arm against Central State's Dominic David II.
Neal getting the ball, run up the gut. Tackle quickly made by Carlos Carter, a sophomore from Washington, D.C. He's a transfer into this program from Morgan State. A lot of transfers on this Marauders team.
Well, you can see right now Dayton's got Central State on their heels. They're starting to make some subs. Dayton's just keeping it going. They're right back to the line of scrimmage, lined up for the next play, ready to go. So far, kept it on the ground this whole drive. But right now is time to take a shot. I don't think they will.
Cole Dow to Michael Neal. He kind of slipped and lost his footing. There on the play was Ezekiel Kennebrew, another transfer from West Virginia State University.
All right, third and long. Here's where, so far, you've come out. This is a play that you see what kind of leadership Dayton has. They've come out. Things have been going well for them. They've picked up a couple first downs. All right, now you're third and long. What do? Who steps up? Who makes the play? I'm thinking it's 87 or number 2 in the slot there. Bullets is the sure-handed. Ooh, they give it to Neal.
3rd and 8, and Michael Neal goes nowhere. He's met pretty quickly by Dominique David II and Kennebrew again, which leaves a 4th down decision behind the sticks. You're kind of in no man's land right now, though, Jared.
Yeah, you're not quite to... Webster's got a pretty big leg, but you're in that, as you said, Paul, that no man's land, because if you miss the kick, it comes back out to the spot of the kick, so you don't really want to give them a shorter field than you need to. But obviously, 4th and long. It's also something you could potentially see a pooch punt out of the QB.
4th and 11. Drops back. Cassiola, middle of the field. And
a
first down the sideline. A nice run after the catch for Dayton. And that's Jake Coleman.
It's a nice play call. I think you're a play too late on it. I think that should have been the 3rd down play, personally. But as it is, it's a nice pitch and catch from Cassiola to Coleman. Nice job by Coleman getting to the sticks. First half, he had that chance in the middle of the field to get to the sticks, and he didn't quite get there right at the end, and so he's made the adjustment at halftime and picked up a big first down.
Methodical drive here from Dayton. It's taken over 5 minutes. Neal off the right shoulder of Dow. Neal gets the ball, slices through, and he's tackled by Mike White. Otherwise, if White hadn't gotten there to wrap him up, that might have been a touchdown.
I think you're right, Paul. White is able to just keep enough of a hold on Neal to slow him down and get the rest of his body there. But Dayton definitely come out of halftime, a team inspired. Player to keep an eye on top of the screen, Laco. Had some success in this area. They've been running the ball. They had success with him on that jet sweep earlier. But also with him and Willits at the top, do a little rub route. Whoever comes open, get him the ball.
Swanson and Bubonics down here on the near side. They go down to Bubonics, and he makes the catch for a touchdown.
What a pass, what a catch. Nice job. Cole Dow finding Bubonics. Just a nice little touch pass over the top. Here you can see Dow. He knew where he wanted to go with the ball. As soon as he hits his back last step, ball's gone. And Bubonics does a great job. Nice little grad student to grad student connection there. Beautiful pitch and catch to put the punctuation on just the great, as you said, Paul, methodical drive, just very cerebral all the way down the field to kind of assert your dominance on this game.
And Webster makes it 34-10. 9:39 to go. So a drive that takes over 5 minutes off the clock.
Yes.
You go back, you set the tempo, and this is kind of what I was talking about at the end of the first half, where Central State got the field goal, so they did get points, but they didn't get the touchdown. And I said, if they didn't get a touchdown and then you have Dayton come down and score, it doesn't put the game out of reach. It's still a 24-point game. It doesn't put the game out of reach by any stretch of the imagination, especially for a Central State team that plays as quickly as they do. But on the other hand, Jared, that was a really, really dominant drive where Dayton got everything that they wanted. Yes, they did have to convert on 4th down, but that was a pretty impressive set of plays from Dayton.
And we were talking about at halftime, right? You got a 10-play, 72-yard drive, as you mentioned, took 5 minutes off the clock, and you finish with a touchdown. You know, that's coming out of halftime. If you're Trevor Andrews, the head coach of the Flyers, that's what you want your offense to be, where – okay, the game's starting to get, are we going to let it slip away from us? Are we going to let the opponent start to find a little momentum? No, we're going to come out, reassert ourselves. This is who we are. This is how we're going to win. You saw a lot on the ground, but you also saw through the air when needed. So I think moving forward, if they can continue to do that, right? So right now, the defense has to answer the bell. You're going to see return here.
Return taken
what
out
a tackle.
Quick tackle.
Oh, baby.
That fires up the squad. There's no doubt about that.
My goodness. That was just a great open field tackle. Karan Coleman, number 37, talked about him in the first half. You see again why he's one of the best defensive players on this team. He's coming in full speed, just sure tackle, wrap up, ball inside the 10. And this Dayton defensive line, this has them written all over it, right? This is a Shattuck in the backfield. We haven't really seen much out of the defensive ends yet. Right now you got 55 Chase Brown and 90 Mason Henry, but they're very, very capable as well. Here you go, Chase Brown. Oh,
almost back to the end zone.
They're going to get a safety.
And he's going to have to get out of the end zone. I don't know if he's going to be able to, and that's a disaster of a play for Central State. It's a safety. And that might put the stamp on this one. A flag comes in late. The safety will stand. We'll see who the flag goes against. Probably going to be on sportsmanlike conduct.
Looks like it's going to go on 28 Franks. That's who was chatting with the official. Franks or Genazzo. But right there, I mean, that play was all D-line. We get the call from the official.
The result of the play was a safety. After the play was over, on sportsmanlike conduct, on the defense, number 7, that 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Yeah, that's Genazzo on the unsportsmanlike penalty.
Yeah, the only thing I can figure is that there were some words. Words said something, because there didn't appear to be anything malicious type movement that had happened. But that whole play, that was D-line. They tried a little run over the right-handed side. Chase Brown was in the backfield right away, followed by Shattuck, followed by Ward Zala. And as I missed, who was the back on that ball? Was that Dinah?
Yes.
As he tried to reverse field, then you just saw the rest of that Dayton defense swarm, and he wasn't going anywhere. Great. I mean, hey, that's exactly what they talked about at halftime. They said, hey, we're going to go down and score, then we're going to get a safety. So, they're right on schedule. No, but that's exactly what you want, right? You had an offense that come out aggressive, did their job. Defense, your turn. Great. Go out, do your job, get the ball back to your offense. Oh, and in the meantime, we're going to give you a couple of points too. So far, if you're Trevor Andrews, you got to be happy with the effort out of halftime, minus the unsportsmanlike. Making a change on the KOR, putting Bubonics in with Laco.
Laco, a nice game, first touchdown of the season for the Flyers.
A lot to look forward with this kid, Gavin Laco. He touched on it a few times already, but I think he's just another in a long line of Flyer legacy. When you have really good players that have played here, and then they also fathered really good players, it creates an exciting time to be Flyers.
That was a short kick. Alec Keithley had to come up and make that play.
You got to remember, too, it's got to be a punt coming out of a safety. So not great, especially considering how well Karras was punting there towards the end of the first half.
Now we'll see. And again, this was a Dayton drive just less than a minute ago that took over 5 minutes off the clock. You do that again here, and it results in a touchdown, and that would really put this game away if it isn't already.
Agreed. And that's where, I was touching on it in the first half, start of the second half. Just what's your identity? Are you going to be a ball control, clock chewing? There you go. You're known for running the ball. Keep being physical up front. Start to win the line of scrimmage. Because a lot of times those 2- and 3-yard gains in the first half grow as the game goes on.
And that's Logan Davis out to the 42-yard line, where it will be 2nd and about 7.
But you have a lot of capable running backs. You got a deep room. Just keep putting fresh legs in and letting them run.
Another run up the gut for Davis. Redshirt junior, standing at 5'11", just a shade under 200 pounds. The running back there for Dayton.
Yeah, again, it's a good problem to have when your starter is so good that the other guys don't get on the field. But as soon as they get a chance, you can see what they can do. And he hasn't really broken one yet. But you can see, very capable, very, very deep running back room for Dayton. And honestly, got to give a lot of credit to that. I mean, obviously the coaching staff's going to recruit good players, but Mark Ewald has been such a great pick.
And it's picked off. Was looking over to the near sideline for Joey Swanson, but an interception and almost, Jared, a pick 6.
Gosh, good play by Swanson to keep it from being a pick 6, but right away you can see as Cassiola hits the top of his drop, he's just eyes locked on Swanson, and that's an easy play for a DB that's in good position. Melvin Howard just said, all right, cool, you're really going to throw that? Sweet, I'm going to go take it. And if Swanson doesn't get a hand on him, I think he's gone.
Melvin Howard from right here in Dayton. Not too many Dayton natives on this Central State roster.
All right, so you got Central State, short field. Can they capitalize?
Pass out right, and that's short, and a flag comes in late.
I think Flores is going to thank the field in his footwear for that one, because him and him and Janaza were both locked up.
Pass interference.
Fighting.
Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And Lewis's pass was obviously back shoulder. So as Flores went to put his foot in the ground to come back for it, he slipped. Well, Janazo had hands on. Makes it look like it's more malicious than what it was.
Pass over the middle of the field, and that is
wrap
caught.
Up. She got to wrap up.
Jeremy Clark there on the reception. Now here's Central State just marching right down the field.
Starting to play with confidence, although right now, not sure. Left tackle, Dejon Green, doesn't know what the play is, so we'll see if that.
Here comes the rush and the sack. That's Nate Hess.
The Dairyland Delight. I've been waiting for that. The only guy on the team from Wisconsin. Big country boy. Nate Hess. Great play. Nice job getting in the backfield and getting his first sack as a Flyer.
Ticking down toward the 7-minute mark here in the third quarter.
Oh, yeah. Hess would tell you he's powered by whole milk, baby.
Second and very long. First down markers at the 1. The throw to the end zone. And it is knocked away at the last second by Matt Lenti.
But you're going to have a roughing the passer. It's going to go against Mason Henry, number 90, the D end from Dayton. They do a great tackle end loop. And Henry just, I think it's going to be like a helmet-to-helmet
personal
type
foul.
situation.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 95. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
The timing of when he hit Lewis was well within the rules, but it's either to the helmet or something extracurricular as he put him to the ground. I know that's been a point of emphasis for officials in the last couple of years, is how hard they throw him to the turf.
Give up the middle, trying to slip through a couple of tackles, but Zay Price is brought down, the DC native.
And Hess on the play again, able to get onto Price's legs and keep him held up so Lenti can finish it off. All right, Dayton, let's see. Are you gonna break? Or are you just gonna bend?
Lewis looking, middle of the field, and it is almost intercepted. Nathan Arthur was right there. It slipped right through his fingers.
And you got defensive line gets good pressure with 4 guys. So you can see right here, Hess is right in his face, ball up in the air. Nice play by the Dayton linebacker and safeties up the middle of making a very contested throw, and Arthur almost comes down with it. Yeah, 3rd and 6. Oh, excuse me, 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal for a Marauders team that has found the end zone only once today. Looking for a 2nd touchdown.
Can't forget about up top with Flores. Flores has had success against Genazo.
And a flag.
Prior to the play clock going to 0. First start timeout, Central State.
That's a huge timeout Central State has to take. Can't get the play off.
Yes, it is, because you don't want to give up any yardage down here. Again, I've said it a few times, but so far, if we're chalking up the matchup of Flores and Genozo, it's Flores. He's won every time, whether it's a pass interference or TD. You definitely can't forget about that. They don't go to it often, but when they do, they find success.
It's going to be a 3rd and 6, or 3rd and goal from the 6.
So can this D-line that so far this drive has put some good pressure outside of the mess up, right? Henry gets that roughing the passer penalty, but the defense in the secondary played that perfectly, right? Ball knocked down, good coverage on all that, gives them 4 extra downs, but can he show out, or excuse me, can the D-line come up with that big pressure and allow your secondary to really cover?
Here we go. 3rd and goal from the 6.
Yep.
One in motion.
Top.
Cuts back up. They go to him. Can they tackle him? No, they cannot. That's a Central State touchdown to Brandon Brock. They've been targeting him all afternoon, and he gets into the end zone for a touchdown.
And that's a play that I think every defensive player and coach in America is screaming, pick play, pick play, pick play, but well executed by Central State. Nice job. They brought Brock motion towards the line of scrimmage and then brought him back out, and him and Flores had a nice little crossing and opens up Brock, and he does the rest.
Extra point, snap back, kick is up, and it is good. So it is 36-17. Dayton still with a pretty significant lead. That gives us a chance to talk about the University of Dayton volleyball team, which is off to a great start. The Flyers are 6-2, both losses coming against ranked teams. UD hosts Ball State tonight at 7 in the final match of the Flyer Invitational. That is a home match right here on campus, and admission is free. Dayton women's soccer off to a 5-1-1 start as well. That's this year, of course. Noel Boleen is this week's Atlantic 10 Offensive Player of the Week. She scored 3 goals and added an assist in 2 different matches. UD plays at Michigan State tomorrow and then begins a 10 action next Thursday at St. Bonaventure. 6 plays, 41 yards, only a minute and 44 off the clock.
Tell you what, Central State keeping it exciting.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. They've just not gone away, right? It feels like it's already in Dayton's hands, 36-17, a pretty insurmountable margin. You'd have to score as many points as you've already scored all day today. This ball will go, come back. That's an onside kick. Central State recovers.
Nope. All right, you're starting to see what's happening here with Dayton.
Oh, my.
Not something that you really prepare for, but Central State being explosive on offense, starting to get the momentum swinging in their favor. What do? Little pooch. They've done short kicks the last couple of times. Dayton should have been ready for it, but nobody sees the ball. Nobody in those up back positions even react, and Central State says, thank you. We'll take that ball back. We'll build off what we just did.
Yeah, nobody went for the ball. It was almost like they were hoping it would bounce out of bounds.
Dayton's got to be ready for a shot right here. Near side, looking at TJ Gregory. He's had some success downfield too, but you just had this big swing, take a shot, singled up on the bottom side.
Looking, they do take a shot down the left side, and it is dropped.
Oh, did you see Coleman get his hand in there? What a play. I know it sounds like we're really salivating over Coleman, but, man, he's made some really great individual effort type plays today.
Yeah, Dinah had a chance at that, and Coleman had kind of overrun it at the last second, that if Dinah had made the catch, he could have turned it upfield before Coleman had a chance to tackle him.
Yep. But Coleman sticks that left hand in there just at the last second. I think if Lewis has that play back, though, I think he's going to hit Gregory on his little clearing out route because everybody reacted towards Dinah. Oh, what a play by Cope. Oh, you got to finish the tackle, though.
Then down the sideline goes Michael Lowe, who has been a popular target today for Alec Lewis, the quarterback.
You can see Cope reads this perfectly. Goes right through the blocker, and he's got Lowe, but just can't finish the tackle. And then the next couple of defenders that get there don't wrap up. Now you're at 3rd and 5.
Shot to the end zone.
Got him.
And they have him.
What
a catch on the far sideline. What a spectacular play by none other than Brandon Brock. And Central State is knocking on the door again.
There's that slot. They're exposing Dayton's defense in the slot. So all that was just a, hey, I'm gonna run past you. Lewis air it out.
They give, and do they get him the touchdown? They do. It's a touchdown for Central State. Back-to-back scores. That's Zay Price, a running back, a sophomore, punching it in, and 2 touchdowns within 2 minutes for the Marauders.
And this Dayton defense, you can see it on that last drive. They're standing there like, what just happened? So, and that's all off of that special teams miscue. You know, you talked about, Paul, at the end of the half, right? The 14 potential point swing. Well, we just had it. Back down to 2 possessions.
Yeah, this is a 12-point game in the blink of an eye. 1 minute and 44 seconds on the previous drive for Central State, and now Dayton shell-shocked. They're going to need to go out and answer with less than 6 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And it's got to start with this kickoff return team. Those up guys, I don't know, it looks like, just looking at the numbers, right? So near side us, we have running back Davis. Then we have also near the 35 is Hansen. Okay, that's right where that ball dropped on the last kickoff. Those guys have got to have better ball skills, awareness, where this kick's going to go. And I'm sure Coach Andrews was getting into those guys on the sidelines before they went on the field.
4 plays, 38 yards, 25 seconds.
Well, and the worst part about it, Paul, is it was avoidable.
Yep.
It wasn't some goofy fluke play. It's a very normal thing. You just didn't cover it. And you just gave up back-to-back touchdowns. Dayton clearly ready for something. Everybody's up.
This kick is short again. And it's taken out. Nice return here out to the 40-yard line. Well done by Michael Neal.
I think that it's either Neal or Laco. I get those 1s and 2s. It looks like it was Laco. It's showing on the replay there. But still, nice job, like you said, Paul. getting something out of nothing. Right, little short kick, almost kind of had a shoestring it a little bit. He was able to put the ball out to the 40. So, offense, have another drive like you started this half. You need it, right? There's too much momentum swinging to that other sideline right now. You need to be able to come in, establish it again, pick up some chunk yardage, just sustain a drive.
Dow running out left. Has 5 yards, trying to get to the sticks.
Good start.
And that's a nice run for Cole Dow. He has a 6-yard run on first down.
You can see right there what Dow can do with his legs. I missed the defender, but it was Cade Beam, one of the tight ends, trying to get the end of line. Couldn't quite get it, but it didn't matter. Dow was able to beat him and turn it upfield. Give him second, and it looks like about 3. Long 3, maybe.
Dow rolling out right, looking, and a pass is caught. Did he stay in bounds? He did. Nice play made down there along the sideline. That again, that was Coleman.
It's a nice little waggle play. And here's the thing with Dow, right? He can run the ball, so you put him in positions where that's part of his read. As he comes out, if he doesn't have the throw, just keep running. You're already headed that direction. Nice job picking up the first down. So far, it's been Dow a couple of plays, but here comes Neal.
Neal running right along the sideline. He's pushed out of bounds.
Dang it, yeah. Hole didn't quite open up. I think they were trying to take that inside the tackle, but didn't quite get there. Good job by Central State's number 35, Mike White, able to get outside of that contain block, or that kickoff block, excuse me, and get upfield and force Neal to bounce it out. Still picked up positive yardage, 2nd and 7. You can do something with this.
Running right on 2nd down, picks up another few. You can see getting back up after the play, McDowell maybe frustrated with that one.
Couldn't really tell on that. Was that an excited because he just got a pancake, or did he miss the block? I couldn't really tell because it seemed like a decent play.
Yeah.
But showing some emotion. Can you put the emotion in the correct way? That's what we got to see. I tell you though, you got looking at that line of scrimmage for Dayton. Looking at those O-line out there. Left tackle, Connor Clyde. He's a redshirt sophomore. Center, redshirt junior, Dylan DeMason. Right tackle, junior, Ryan Iams. The other two, true freshmen. And I tell you, outside of a couple plays, they played very, very well for kind of getting thrown into it. First starts for both of them. They've done well.
4:08 to go here in this third quarter.
So 3rd and about, looks like a 3.5. Oh, man.
Cole Dow trying to sneak forward, and he just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Update from the Flyer Invitational. Dayton Volleyball swept Wright State for its 7th win of the season so far. Nice start to the season for the Flyer Volleyball team.
Yeah, and that last play was blown up by the end. Mike White just able to get into the backfield, be disruptive, forced out to have to bounce around. Now you're looking at 4th and 4. Remember at the end of the first half, they tried to draw him off sides. Do they try that again? It looks like...
Now Dayton takes a timeout. So
both teams
timeout. Have used a timeout.
And now you get into that field position chess match, right? Can we confidently pick up this 4th and 4? / do we think our defense right here can really dig in and get a big stop if we don't pick it up? Or do you just put it down, try to pin them inside the 15 and make them have to go through a long field? So far, Central State has not shown that ability. They only had the one drive at the end of the first half that went for longer than 50 yards, and that was on that big play down, what was it, in the slot where Lewis was getting hit. I forget who he had thrown that to. But that play went for 80, or that drive went for 85 yards. Prior to that, they haven't been able to do anything out of the shadow of their own goalpost. So do you do something with that? Do you come out, and we haven't seen it yet, but something you can also do, and I know teams practice this, is with the quarterback, do a little pooch punt. That way they can't really return it. So a lot of different options here. Now, all that being said, if you think you can pick it up, go get it. That sends a positive message to both your offense and your defense of, hey, offense, I think you can get it, and defense, if they don't, we know you got them.
Here we go. Really big play in this game.
I think you got to get Dow outside the pocket with that little run pass option. Kind of like the play we saw earlier where Coleman was able to make the catch on the sideline. That way Dow can either run it or pass it.
Dow looking right. The pass is caught on this near side by Sam Bubonics. Did he get enough for the first down? He did. That's a flyer first down, a well-executed play by Sam Bubonics and Cole Dow.
It kind of makes me look like I know what I'm talking about. That's just luck. No, a great play call by Greg Whalen, the offensive coordinator. Again, utilizing the strengths of his guys out there, understanding that Dow can get you with his feet if he needs to, so put him in a position to where that's an option.
Neal up the gut. Picks up 2.
It's a great tackle. Jaleel Lenore meeting Neal right at the point of contact, and he won that one. He better write that down because that doesn't usually happen against a Dayton back.
Less than 2.5 to play in the third quarter.
Someone that's been silent, Joey Swanson, near side.
Neal gets the ball again, trying to reverse field, slips through a tackle, then is brought down after just a gain of 1.
Now you're back to 3rd and long. So that right there is kind of getting into a little bit of the youth in the front 3, right? You have DeMason, who returning starter at center, does a great job, but then next to him are 2 true freshmen. And when you're playing a nose tackle, that's not a normal look, especially in the PFL. Starting to give him fits a little bit, clogging it up, making it difficult for Neal to get those easy dive plays.
Dow with 3 receivers left. He's looking right sideline, and it's underthrown and incomplete.
Yeah, he's going to want that back. So now, I mean, how far did they go? About 5 yards from the last time we were in this 4th down type situation? And they're going to march out Webster. That's why I was curious. Is this where Coach Andrews feels confident putting Webster out there? He has the leg.
So this is going to be a 47-yard field goal.
A little bit of wind at his back. It's a matter of something with him throughout his career is, can he get it up and over the line so they can't block it?
Plenty of leg, and it is good. That would have been good from a whole lot farther. What a kick from Sam Webster. Makes it a 15-point game, 39-24.
Not quite the punctuation you wanted on that drive, but, hey, you're going to take points, kind of help put a little halt to Central State's momentum. So you get a chance to dictate Central State's next drive, right, on this kickoff. Pin them deep, make them go the full length of the field. But nice answer by this Dayton offense. Did some, again, doing some good things, doing some positive things. Obviously, there's still stuff to clean up. Otherwise, give them the national championship trophy already,
Yeah.
But that's part of it. That's part of the growth. That's part of the Coach Andrews said in a preseason interview, I got a lot of young coaches on my staff.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they're bad coaches. It just means that there's experience that goes with the more years you coach. That sounds like a John Madden type statement right there of stating the obvious,
Yeah.
but no, the more they do it, the more confident that they get, not only obviously with the players, right? Coaches are new, the players aren't as new, but within each other, okay? Because you have a new offensive coordinator hearing a different voice from a different quarterback's coach, from a different receivers coach. When they kind of get their process ironed out of how they call plays, and it goes out of bounds. It's not what you wanted to see. But once they get that process and they start to get that rhythm, I think the sky's the limit for them. I mean,
free kick out of bounds. Kicking team, number 49. Central State has elected to take the ball at the 35-yard line.
But the only thing you haven't seen out of this Dayton offense is a true, okay, our guy is just going on a fly route, and he's going to get in behind you, and we're just going to take the top off. Now, they had that deep pass to Keithley, but that was a little more of a hole shot that Keithley took the rest of the way. But they've shown it, the ability to pick up a short yardage first down. They've shown the ability to bust it on the ground for a big touchdown. You've had success on the sweep. You've thrown it underneath. You've had a jump ball. You know, they have a lot. Oh,
nice catch.
Nice
coming
catch.
Back to
Great
the
throw.
ball there from Jeremy Clark.
That's a great throw by Lewis. Put it only where his guy can go get it. Pick up a good play on first down. You know, so Dayton can kind of get stuff rolling, man. They could have a very exciting year. Now on defense, okay, your offense just kind of came out, gave you a breather, had a pretty good drive of their own. All right, go hold them.
Pass down the left sideline. It's Clark again on the reception. He gets out of bounds with a minute to go in this third quarter.
You can see right now, Coach Porter and these Marauders got to be happy with what they found on offense. They're starting to finally hit a rhythm.
Lewis, and it is tipped, batted away, and then a huge hit leveled by Matt Linty.
Great play by Cam Cope, who's starting to find some success out there. This is a good sign because, again, Dayton's needs a corner, needs somebody to step up and take that position and own it. So far, Cope's made a couple of good plays there. Nice job getting the hand on it. Honestly, I think if he has it back, he's going to realize he had a little more time. He might have been able to pick it.
Nathan Arthur was back there as well. Ball down the right side and incomplete. He was looking for Brandon Brock.
And I think that's a miscommunication. Lewis thought Brock was going deep. A lot of times you'll have routes that'll be right at the line of scrimmage. Quarterback saw cover 2, receiver saw cover 3, so receiver did something different than what the QB intended. A lot of times that's what leads to those where was the quarterback throwing type of interceptions. On that one, Lewis is going to be happy that he's able to come away and keep in possession.
3rd and 10 on the 43-yard line of the Flyers.
Remember, going into a pretty good win. It's got the flag pretty horizontal.
Shot down the left sideline, and that is incomplete. Looking yet again for Jeremy Clark.
And did Genazzo get a hand on that? Because that was identical play to a couple of plays before on the completion. And I think Genazzo, he did enough to disrupt Clark's concentration and comes up with a huge stop, forcing Central State into a punting situation.
Sam Bubonics is back to receive with 36 seconds left in the third.
You know, does Dayton come after him here? Oh, delay a game. Maybe not.
Bubonics lets the ball bounce. And it'll be touched at the 17-yard line.
All right, so Dayton going to get about one play here before the end of the quarter.
Maybe make it the 18-yard line there after the spot. Yeah, if Dayton runs the ball, it'll just be one play.
You know, I don't think they're necessarily thinking about, oh, hey, we gotta take a shot with the wind, but this is their last chance to really utilize that before they flip directions.
Going out far, it's Derek Willits, I should say, with Joey Swanson. Might take a shot here.
Oh, good under route
to the left side, and there it is. Tolaco down the sideline, gets all the way toward midfield at the 47-yard line.
Great play call. Great play call. You can see here, Laco just getting underneath. Couldn't quite see it on that replay, but able to get underneath, Good job by Cassiola coming down to him, finding the open runner, hitting him, and letting Laco do the rest. And you can see he's going to be.
That is the end of the third quarter.
Rest of the season. He's going to be an integral part of what these Flyers have.
And that does it for the third quarter. The Flyers in control right now, up 39-24. I should mention Dayton Cross Country swept the Atlantic 10 Awards last week. Bryce Conley was the Men's Performer of the Week. Abby Carter was the Women's Performer of the Week. James Moore Ashaka was the Rookie of the Week, and Kara Mooney was the Women's Rookie of the Week. Jared, looking around the rest of the college football landscape here. Deion Sanders, Colorado Buffalo, 36-14 winners over Nebraska.
Well, that's a big rivalry game for the Buffs, too.
At the FBS level, that is a big rivalry and a statement win. Notre Dame up 17-7 over NC State. That's at halftime. That was a game that was delayed 90 minutes for weather. And we'll get you updated on some of the Pioneer scores when we have them available. Big game tonight down in Tuscaloosa, Texas and Alabama. Highly anticipated game. Of course, that was a game that Quinn Ewers got hurt in last year. A lot of big games this week after it turned out to be a pretty fun week one at the FBS level last week. But on paper going into the week, maybe you didn't think it was going to be as fun as it was. LSU, Florida State, of course, the banner game last week. But Colorado and TCU, the one that got all the talk and publicity over the last 7 days, and Colorado backed it up with a statement win over Nebraska. Buffalo's 2-0 to start the season.
Yeah, I think what gets lost in a lot of it is people forget that, yeah, Deion Sanders was flashy and all that, but he's rooted in good football and good coaching. And here goes Luke Hansen rumbling, stumbling, bumbling to a first down. And I see him run, I just think old school, right? So all I can do is think John Madden on the call there, because he's an old school back. Matter of fact, I was able to watch a few of the training camp practices. This is the first time I've seen him wearing gloves all year, so he was a true throwback. Not wearing gloves, no wrist tape. Just give him the ball between the tackles, let him do his work.
We'll see how Dayton elects to handle this fourth quarter. If they keep the ball on the ground and try to just methodically take some time off the clock.
Yeah, you have to limit Central State's possessions. I mean, that's one of the true only ways to stop a quick strike offense is to limit the amount of times they can touch the ball. Make sure your defense is nice and rested, but not so much rested, but just able to communicate. Okay, what's that look? Do we know what's coming out of that look?
One of those things where you could see Dayton, you want to snap this ball inside 10 seconds on the play clock almost every time.
Yeah, almost like a 4-minute type drill.
Right up the middle again. That's a run for Luke Hansen, and about a yard short of the first down. It'll be third and very short.
You know, Hansen starting to find something here, right? With those type of backs in the beginning of the game, 2-3 yards here and there, well, he doesn't get any smaller. It doesn't get any easier to bring down. The defense just gets more tired, and we already talked about how many backs Dayton can keep in the game. You know, they just can keep fresh legs in, and that bigger back gets harder and harder to bring down. What a push.
Cole Dow right across the line.
And that right there, that's going to be the story of the rest of this game. You don't win the line of scrimmage like that and not come away with the win in most cases.
Keeps the clock moving. It keeps the drive moving.
I think something else that we touched on at the beginning but haven't really talked about recently is Dow or Cassiola. It's not really mattering a whole lot.
Yep.
You know, they're both able to come in. They both have big plays. Cassiola had the touchdown pass. Dow's picked up some big first downs. You know, so it's kind of plug and play, so to speak.
Hansen slipping through 3 tackles. You take a look around and see some of the other FCS scores. Butler up 41-13 in the fourth over Taylor. Presbyterian up 20-17. That's delayed. And St. Thomas trailing South Dakota 7-0 at the half. Georgia beat Ball State 45-3, and Ohio State took it to Youngstown State 35-7.
Oh, here goes Dow.
Dow along the left sideline with a block.
In.
And he stays in just short of the 10-yard line. Penn State 63-7 over Delaware. And Utah, a couple of late touchdowns in the fourth quarter to win that one over Baylor 20-13.
I'll tell you what, for the last year, the Pac-12, they're going to go out with a bang.
Well, and Utah without their starting quarterback, Cam Rising, again for the second week in a row. Statement win for the Utes over Florida last week without Cam Rising, and now here today, they were trailing 13-6 late, came back, 2 touchdowns, they win the game. There's a run out right, trying to find some space, and stacked up is Luke Hansen.
That type of run seems uncharacteristic of the type of player Hansen is. He's a just go, put your head down, go pick up some yardage, one cut, a cloud of dust, so to speak. But you see him trying to bounce it out there. I think he wants that back. You can see him as he's jogging off, showing his frustration. But he's still sitting in a pretty good situation. Dayton 2nd and 10, able to pick up a first down before the end zone. Got Swanson in the slot, favorable matchup. Been quiet.
Dow looking left, going to the end zone, and it is knocked away. Swanson was there.
Dang, and it just great play. Who was in coverage? Is that number 3 for Central State? Montego Johnson, I believe. Yeah, just 13, excuse me, not number 3. I lost my roster here, Paul. Too many papers. DeJon McNeil able to get up there and get a little bit of finger on the ball before it gets to Swanson.
Dow on 3rd and 10. The Flyers can get a first down without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to take a timeout and talk about it.
This will be the second timeout for the Flyers.
Second charge timeout.
10:38 to go in the game.
Biggest thing here, and I don't know if it gets talked about or coached as much. Nowadays, I'll call it the Madden era, so to speak, right? A lot of players have grown up on the video game where you don't really have to stick true to fundamentals, and you can just run around with the little virtual dude and heave something up, right? I think a lot of young quarterbacks forget that in here you want to take care of the football. I'm sure that's getting talked about in this huddle right now. Whether it's Dow or Cassiola, of, hey, take care of the ball. If it's not there, live to see another down. You know, we're just outside the 10-yard line, right? Yeah, we're going to go for it. We're trying to score. But if it's not there, don't make some catastrophic error that takes us out of field goal range, especially with the wind blowing in your face the way it is right now. Looking at the top of the screen, you're going to have a height mismatch. Coleman is being guarded. Coleman stands 6'5", by Zay Morrison 5'9", something to kind of keep an eye on.
3rd down and 10. Dow rolling left.
Swanson.
Looking, and now Dow going to be stacked up all the way back at the 25-yard line. A loss of 14 on the play, and Dow a little slow to get up.
That's a tough tackle, period, right? Getting tackles is never fun, but that wasn't exactly a great way to go down. But so we kind of talked about, you almost took yourself out of field goal range with just, it's not there. Throw it out of bounds. You're standing next to the sideline. You're well outside of the tackle box. Dow has the strongest arm of the quarterbacks, or one of the strongest arms. Just throw it out of bounds, out of the back of the end zone. You don't have to always have the perfect play.
And they spot him at the 20.
Ooh.
Kick, a line drive kick straight through the uprights. And it's 42-24. Most importantly there, that makes it a 3-score game.
Johnson almost got there coming off the edge.
A lot of points in this game.
So far, though, decent drive. But that's the thing. You know, hopefully the new quarterbacks coach, Ted Hefter, coming here following Coach Andrews from Western Michigan. I'm sure that's going to be something that gets talked about this week. in film study is, guys, doesn't matter who you are, when you're in the red zone, when you're that close, throw it away. Because, yeah, he just happened to be on the 10-yard line when they snapped that ball, and he loses 10. Well, what if he was on the 20? And that, again, that goes back to that. And Dow is a good athlete, so is that in his head of, oh, I can just run around and make a play? But it's also, you got to understand what the game is. The game is, what was it, 39-24 at the time of that snap. You already have a pretty good lead. You just want to come away with points here. Okay, just throw it out. Live to see another down. I mean, that's the maturity. That's the side of the game that gets overlooked. That's why, if we're looking at NFL, I know we don't talk a whole lot about the NFL in here, but that's why I think Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL, because he plays the position the best. Is he the most talented or whatnot? I don't know, but it's those little things. Decent coverage, able to make. It was a sure tackle who was coming out of there. It looks like it was Logan Miller.
Yep, E.J. Wash there on the return to the 30-yard line. That's where Central State will set up with 9:42 to go, and it's pretty much going to have a touchdown on every drive the rest of the way. That was 11 plays, 62 yards, 5 minutes and 40 seconds for Dayton. It resulted in a field goal, but more importantly, it resulted in almost 6 minutes coming off the clock.
Yep, and that's what you mentioned, Paul. Just you gotta. You could see they were conscious of the play clock, snapping it close to 10, trying to milk as much as you could while still playing and not taking your foot off the gas. Great route. He had Janazo all spun around. That was
T.J. Gregory on the reception out to the 37-yard line.
You can see just nice little rhythm, pitch and catch, and got Janazo spun around. But Janazo's able to recover, make a good tackle, keep him from the first down.
3 up top.
Oh,
this will be a free play. Shot down the right sideline, and that's incomplete, but an offside on a front 5. We'll see.
Offside. Defense, number 74, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, second down.
First time we've really called his name much today.
Correction. It's going to result in a first down.
That'll be a Central State first down. They only needed 3 yards.
All right, so Shattuck comes out. He's kind of your most prolific pass rusher. Arthur's up there, Joker. Oh, and they
kept the ball. It's a fumble. It gets out. It's recovered. It's going to be returned. It's a Chase Brown touchdown.
What a play. I was just getting ready to say, who's going to step up on the D-line? And it's Mason Henry coming off the edge, causing a huge, huge turnover. And Chase Brown right there. They do loose ball drills every week. Great play by Henry, knocks it out. Brown secures the ball and beats him to the end zone. And there's nothing better than watching a big guy score a touchdown. And you can see on the sideline all his teammates swarming him. That is an awesome, awesome job by that Dayton defense. After you have a little miscue, able to come back and make a huge, huge momentum swinging play.
And surely now for Dayton, you would be looking at Central State needing to score more than they have scored in the entire game, assuming Webster punches this through, which he does. It's a 25-point lead for the Flyers. After not scoring last week, they have come up in a big way today. Cole Dow, a little slow coming off the field. You know, he was hit pretty hard maybe 1 or 2 drives ago. And that last drive, I believe it was, where he was tackled around the 20, 25-yard line, set up the last field goal. He was a bit slow to get up, and you kind of see it again there.
Yeah, a little shaken up, a little kind of looked like he was grabbing down at his leg, like a hamstring maybe. I don't know, or if it was just, I mean, you take helmets to the thighs. Stuff starts to achy a little bit. But Dayton defense, right? You just had that big play. Well, you better be ready to go, because they're coming right back at you.
Now 9:03 left in the game.
Let's see what kind of boot Maurer can put into this one. He's been doing a good job so far. First year as the kickoff specialist. Big leg. See if he can do it again. Into the wind. Oh, they pooch it.
Goes short. Return from the 26-yard line.
Nice
and
tackle.
a 4-yard return after that return from Jeremy Clark.
There's a great tackle on the play by number 38, Aiden McKinley, one of the linebackers for Dayton. So it looks like it's going to be Central State ball right around, what do they have them at, the 30-yard line? All right, so defensive line made some big plays today. Can you continue to get pressure with 4 so that you know they're going to be throwing the ball around? You don't really want to have to bring more than you need to. Can the 4 get to the QB, keep him off his spot so that you can play solid defense in behind? Guy we haven't said so far today, Jarrell Lewis, he can get back there. He can make some plays. He's getting double teamed right now.
Down the middle of the field, that is picked off. An interception for Logan Miller. And back-to-back turnovers.
And that is going to be, you're going to see it on the replay. There's a flag in the backfield, but you're going to see it on the replay. Cam Cope doesn't get to the ball before the receiver gets his hands on it, but does enough to dislodge it. And perfect tip drill by Miller coming in, making the pick. There's a flag in the backfield. I don't know what it's going to be.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. On the return team, number 57, 15-yard penalty will be enforced for the end of the run. It'll be 1st down and 10, Dayton.
Well, you were just talking about Jarrell Lewis.
The announcers jinx. Usually it's a kicker. Goodness.
You were just talking about Jarrell Lewis, and he does pick up the unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, and I kind of touched on it earlier when we saw it on, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd kickoff, where some of Dayton's players, right, you want to see tenacity. You want to see that aggressive, but you also want to be able to show composure and understand, right? Like, again, not saying that you can't just walk in here and we're the higher division team. We're going to win this game by this score, right? You still have to play the game, but at the same point in time, you also need to understand the situation, right? In that case, we don't know what got said down there, what led to that, but hold your composure. Don't react. That's the stuff that when you're in these late game situations, you don't want to have go against you, right? And I'm sure Coach Andrews will be talking to Lewis later on this week and getting that figured out. All right, so 8:22 left, 49-24. If they weren't already in it, they're definitely in it now. 4-minute drill, not snapping until it gets close to that 15, 10-second mark, and here goes Davis.
Davis, a huge shoulder. That fires up the crowd. Logan Davis gets a 1st down and more. Oh, my, what a run.
Hey, don't forget about me. I can tote the rock, too. Nice job by Davis. You can see him, just a simple little, we missed the replay there, but it was just a simple little zone to the short side, and Davis just makes a nice cut, gets upfield, drops his shoulder, picks up some more. So it's good to be a Dayton running back, that's for sure.
Yeah, Jake Chisholm last year, of course, one of the most prolific runners in the history of this program.
Well, and not just that, this is the guy he backed up.
Yep.
Oh, the career rushing record holder. Here's another true freshman. This is Mason Hackett out of Newark, Ohio, getting his first carries. He's another back that they're excited about. I mean, again, Dayton just reloads at running back because Chisholm backed up Tucker Yinger, who's the Dayton's career rushing leader. Oh, whose record did he break? The guy he backed up, Connor Casser. So, Michael Neal, congrats on whatever record you're about to break, because that's clearly how it goes here. But again, it's kudos to this coaching staff, kudos to the identity of the Flyers. They've long been a program that's run the ball well. Here goes Hackett again, trying for outside, doesn't really have anything.
Spun down hard. That was Mason Hackett, the freshman.
Looks like Mike White.
And a late flag. I believe that's going to go against Central State.
either coach, right? If you're Kevin Porter, head coach of the Marauders, or Trevor Andrews, head coach of the Flyers, you don't want to see these type of penalties. Those are composure penalties. And now you can see Coach Andrews. He is on his guys
after the play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense. Number 58. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down. That is number 58's second unsportsmanlike penalty of the game.
Really?
He has been ejected.
That's something you don't see too often. Tell you what, though, if you were watching Coach Andrews patrol the sideline on that one, you'd have thought the penalty was going against the Flyers, because he was into his team hard about have your composure, be better, don't get into those situations. So that to me is great going forward. That's a coach that understands the situation, trying to get his team to use all that in a positive way. Don't let it be a negative.
6:33 to go in the game. The clock is stopped as officiating crew goes and has a conversation with the Central State sideline. Now they run the clock. 6.5 to play. Dayton content to keep this ball on the ground.
Big hole.
Big hole running right, and more room to run down the sideline. Another flag comes in, but a huge run on first down there for the Flyers.
Is this going on Willits, 87? That's where the flag went. He was blocking downfield.
Logan Davis was able to turn the corner.
I don't know if it's going to be a hold. I don't know if they'll pick it up. Looks like they're going to mark it. It's going to be a penalty.
Holding. Offense. Number 89. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, if anything, Jared, if you're looking at this with the glass half full, it gives Dayton a chance to take some more time off the clock.
But also, that's not something that usually happens. You don't usually get penalized and gain yards. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
That was from the spot of the foul, which typically the penalty goes against the offending team in the manner that it hurts them the most. So in that situation, it would have been from the previous spot. There goes Hackett.
Hackett right up the middle, down to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, it's a rule change that happened a few years ago where the NCAA, it didn't used to be, as soon as you played, you burned your red shirt, right? And they went to a rule change and said, hey, you can play 4 games before you truly burn your red shirt.
Second charge timeout, Central State.
And that's been something Dayton's a program that dresses everyone for home games. On the road, you have your roster capped, but for home games, you dress everyone. So in a game like this where you go into it thinking, okay, there's going to be a chance to get in some younger players, right? Some guys that don't play a whole lot. It's worked out, right? You can see, all right, is Hackett who we think he can be, right? He's not, I don't know if he traveled to Illinois State or not. I know Hansen did, but you have 2 true freshman running backs that you're going, hey, we got something here. We got a nice little, I don't really want to call them Thunder and Lightning because they're kind of built the same, Thunder and Thunder duo, but still, that's a cool part of the rule change is you have that ability to kind of get some guys in there, give them some meaningful reps, kind of figure out, hey, is this a guy we're going to need moving forward? Awesome. Okay, let's burn it. Or, all right, we can see if we get to a situation where, for whatever reason, obviously you don't want injuries, but, things happen, long season. For instance, the 2 guards that are starting right now as true freshmen. Would you love for them to start their second game of their career? No, it's not how you draw it up. But hopefully that they've seen some nice positive signs out of Hackett so far.
3,104 is your attendance number today.
Nice cut.
Nice run.
Wow. I thought he was down in the backfield, I'll be honest. He made a cut, and I thought it was going to be a little shoestring, but he was able to cut it up, and he picked up about 8 yards on that.
Yeah, it's Mason Hackett again.
Looks like DeMason also has another situation of helmet coming off. I wonder if they'll just keep him out for the rest of the game and let the backup get in.
Under 5.5 to play. Second down. 2nd and 3 for the Flyers. Dow keeps it. He gets the first down. Remember, we had talked about him maybe being a little shaken up on a couple of plays, but he gets to the 15. That's a 12-yard run.
Yeah, it might have just been a little bruise, because that's a nice, the way he just ran that ball, you see on the replay, it wasn't indicative of someone that's hobbled. Yeah, kind of got to keep in mind, too. Cole Dow was a longtime backup to Jack Cook, who 4-year starter for the Flyers, so it's been a little bit since he's gotten a full game's worth of getting hit, so could just be that.
Again, no reason to hurry for the Flyers. First down.
Just over 4.5 minutes left to play.
You can't run the clock all the way out unless there are any penalties.
You know, on that play right there, you can see, so Hackett is smaller, kind of like Jake Chisholm was, and something that he's shown already in just these, 5 or 6 carries he's had. He goes forward. That's what Chisholm did. That's what made Chisholm so special. It's a Hackett right there. How low he just got to the ground while still being able to pick up a couple yards, you know, that's very promising.
Dow is back with Hackett off his left shoulder. Hackett gets the ball. He'll run up the middle.
Ooh.
And 2 flags come out late.
That's an ugly hit at the end of the play, too.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say ugly. That's a hit they're trying to legislate out. I don't know what the penalty is going to be. Hold at the line, maybe? I'm trying to see on that replay. I didn't really see it. Oh, and Hackett lost a knee pad. Oh, there's nothing that bugs me more than how these players wear their pants.
Personal
nowadays.
foul. Legal block below the waist. Defense, number 12.
Huh.
Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
Don't hear that one too often.
Well, so where they threw the flag, because I saw that on the replay, I think he just lost his footing, and he ended up kind of getting at the feet of, looked like the pulling guard, number 63, Colin Konecki. And Konecki just, falls on him. Hey, cool, thanks for the pancake. But I don't think that's a penalty that Kevin Porter's going to really hold against his guy. Oh, false start.
Dow going to run right.
Oh,
and he comes up.
Did he get it?
Just short. Half a yard short, if that.
Who's that at the end making that play? Number 12 for Central State. Like that was Samuel Sykes, the safety. Very end. Nice little kidney shot. Those don't feel good, that's for sure.
This ball has to go less than the length of a football to get into the end zone. Inches.
Yep. You're going to see the push.
The way Dow's running today, I don't know if they need that. Just lean over. There goes Dow, and he's in for a score. Dayton crosses the 50-point threshold, and it is all Dayton Flyers right now.
Yeah, we talked about how they didn't score last week. This will at least help the scoring average. Not that you play for stats, you play for execution, but...
Well, in a game like this,
hey.
You get down to the end and you can punch it in.
Exactly. Again, we kind of talked on this when we were off air, but when you're looking at how the first 3 games stack up for Dayton before they get to the conference, you're not really going to have a true chance to know what kind of team you have, because you play really strong opponent in Illinois State out of the Missouri Valley, and then you follow it up with 2 more regional D2 schools. You do that on purpose, right, as a new coaching staff, to kind of be able to give your guys a chance to build some rhythm, build some confidence in game situations of, okay, we're not just going against our own guys and know our own plays. Like, hey, we can do this. This is how it's going to work. We're going to be able to execute. And then you start off with your biggest rival in San Diego, who's been off your schedule for the last 3 years. That's a game I'm sure they've got circled for obvious reasons, right? Start of the PFL, but it's a big rival. So by the time you get to, what is that, September 23rd, and you're making that trip out there to San Diego, California, you know, hopefully you got stuff rolling in the right direction. I think they've taken a big step today. They've done a lot of really, really good things that weren't just a flash in the pan. They've done it multiple times during the game. The D-line has been in the backfield making some big plays. That's going to be crucial in the PFL season. One area, again, we talked about it, corner. Is they going to have somebody be able to step up? I think Cam Cope has kind of been that guy so far today, starting in place of Josh Anderson, injured last week. But they're showing some, that's a tough one. Do you let that go out of bounds again? Another flag.
Tyrese Weeks over there on the far side, I believe, was the one that made that play. A little hard to see from here, the number on the far side of the field. But
yeah, and that maroon and yellow sometimes get a little jumbled. And I think they're going to have a flag against DeMario Cleaves. It looked like somebody took a shot at Dave Maurer, the kicker, towards the end of the play there. But Dayton's last drive was an 11-play, 74-yard, punctuated by the touchdown run by Cole Dow. Took 6 minutes off the clock. So, we talked about it, Paul. Chew up clock, limit Central State possession. So far, the second half, that's what they've done.
After the play was over, on sportsmanlike conduct, receiving team, number 37. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. First down and 10, Central State.
It's at least the third, if not the fourth, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty we've seen today on Central State.
That's going to go against Melvin Howard, defensive back out of Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, those are things, if you're Kevin Porter and this Marauders coaching staff, those are the areas that you're going to want to clean up going forward. I think obviously Dayton's a good team, right? So it's not that, Central State's played bad, that's why Dayton's winning. Dayton's done a lot of good things today, but so has Central State on the offensive side. And I think they've got a lot to look forward to going forward in their conference. They had a great opening season win last week, shown some stuff. Lewis has just been off on a couple of his throws. You know, you get a few of those back, and it's a completely different ball game.
And Lewis runs out of bounds there. 2:26 and counting. So now Dayton will take on Taylor next week. That's at 1 o'clock. You and I will be back for that one.
Yep, another Division II opponent. But it doesn't matter. You prepare the same way. You still want to come out, do the same things. You want to clean up the mistakes that you have from this week. A couple of those drives got halted by some penalties. So younger guys, especially these true freshmen that are seeing starts, you need to get in, be diligent in your film study. Oh, he's got him open.
Pass out right. The pass is caught, and a tackle made eventually. But
looks like that was Luke Mitchell, number 46, safety.
Mitchell was there.
Out of Vandalia, Ohio, just up the road. So you're seeing some of the Flyers reserves coming out, getting some playing time.
Rolling left. And that pass is incomplete, out of bounds. 1:29 to go in the game. Central State trying to get back to the end zone one last time today. Lewis, quarterback out of the University of Northern Colorado, transfer in here to this program. A lot of transfers on this roster. Takes a shot maybe to the end zone again. Incomplete, but a flag for pass interference comes in on the Flyers.
See, and if they're going to call this face guarding, that's not a penalty.
That's Mac Grant III out of St. Christopher's in Virginia.
Yeah, man.
Pass interference. Defense, number 36. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
The only thing Grant needed to do, if he had just turned back for the ball, it wasn't that he was face guarding, it's that he just kept running through the intended receiver. If he had just turned back for the ball, that would have stopped him from going into the receiver, and he just had the incomplete pass.
High snap, throw right side, and no flag on that one.
That's a great play. I believe that's true freshman corner Josh Williams from up the road, Dayton, Ohio, product out of Heber Heights Wayne High School. They're excited about him. They're talking about he had a pretty good training camp. One of the better press corners that Dayton has right now.
2nd and 10. Looking right, and it's intercepted down the sideline. This could be 6. Down the left sideline and all the way into the end zone. A touchdown. Shakti out of Charlotte, North Carolina, a redshirt junior, a pick 6, the 2nd defensive touchdown for the Flyers today.
What a play. The D-line, you can see on the replay here, he just outruns, and Lewis tries to get the feet. That might have been one of the slower full field touchdown runs you'll see, but just a great job. Shakti jumping up, picking it off at its highest point, and just taking it the rest of the way. Another North Carolina product.
Yep.
Finding some talent out of there.
What is it about North Carolina, Jared?
I think a big part of why Dayton's able to go down there and get products is Davidson's down there. So you're able to. I mean, you got to compete against
snap.
Davidson.
Nobody there.
Away. Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Gosh, why is that such a hard concept? I don't understand. No, I think it was a few years back. The university itself started to try to find, historically Dayton's always had good attendance from students from Chicago area, Indianapolis, dipped down into the Louisville, the Lexington areas in Kentucky. They tried to branch out more. Obviously, Ohio up to Pittsburgh, right? You get a lot of students from there. But the university started to say, hey, we need to try to find, because you get a lot of Dayton grads that end up in Charlotte, North Carolina, or end up, they've done more, trying to get more players and students out of the state of Tennessee between Nashville and Knoxville. And I think that's a product is the university opened up some pathways down there, and the coaching staff just took it and run with it, went down there and grabbed a couple of good players. And once you get a couple, well, then you build that relationship with those coaching staffs. And, hey, we got another guy for you. Cool. Send him our way. What a game. I tell you.
This was a game that was in doubt, I would say. Not totally in doubt, but this was a game that Central State was very much in at the start of the fourth quarter.
But it started off not being in doubt, right?
Yeah.
It was 20-0, and Dayton's going to run away with it. Then all of a sudden it was 27-10, and then, yeah, you're right, Paul. It was too close to really be comfortable if you were Coach Andrews and the Flyers, and now you kind of took a chokehold on it.
This doesn't feel like a 62-24 game, but it does feel like a game that Dayton, for the most part, dominated. It was those two defensive touchdowns. Those are two plays you can obviously circle, but at the same time, on the Central State side, Lewis is going to look back at this film, the quarterback for Central State, and think to himself, man, if I could have just thrown 3 or 4 passes 5 yards farther down the field, this is an entirely different ball game.
Yep, and there was a couple of drops mixed in with that, but you're 100% correct. And a lot of times, too, a lot of that led to an immediate response by Dayton going down a short field and scoring. So if you have that back, and even if you don't score, you're able to get the ball out past midfield and then put Dayton deeper. It puts them in a position to have to go farther, which percentage-wise is more difficult, right? It doesn't mean you can't be done, but you're right. It's that chess match within the game that Central State just didn't win. Dayton did. They did a good job. They capitalized on short field. They got big plays when they needed them. Outside of one offensive possession that was marred by penalties, they, for the most part, played a pretty clean game. picked up a couple of 4th downs when needed. You know, for the most part, did a lot of positive things.
A run up the middle here, and that should do it. Don't know.
Well, it's a 1st down, so it'll stop the clock until it gets reset, but yeah, we'll see.
Don't believe Central State.
No point.
We'll run another play here. And that'll do it. Dayton wins their first game of the season, and more importantly, it is the first win of a new era for Trevor Andrews, his first win as the head coach of the Dayton Flyers program.
You know, he's going to remember this one for years to come.
A 62-24 win for the Flyers over the Marauders of Central State. And it was a convincing one here in this 4th quarter. We'll take a look back at how it happened. Cole Dow running, scampering, an aggressive day on the ground for Cole Dow, but a better day too for the Dayton defense. You see it scorched right here, but overall a couple of defensive touchdowns for the Flyers.
Well, they had a bend but don't break kind of day, right? They did give up some touchdowns, but at the end of the day, nothing got close to where the offense was truly, oh, hey, we're about to lose this game, right? Here's a great play. Josh Williams comes in, haven't played all game, big play. Gavin Lacko, 2 true freshmen, right? Williams, Lacko, future is bright for these Flyers. Here goes Hansen, another true freshman, right? Lot of bright spots to look at.
And the defensive touchdowns, a big story that put the cushion on this game and really put the stamp on this game. So, Jared, any final thoughts here before we sign off?
I think you got to go be diligent in your film. You can't sit here and say, oh, we won 62-24. We're great. No, you did a lot of stuff that was good. You did some stuff that needs to get cleaned up, right? The PFL is a tough conference. It's good football conference, right? So you got to clean some stuff up, get back, be diligent in your film study, come out, put together another good game next week, and just one game at a time.
For Jared Phillips here next to me, for Braden Scher over there in the production room, want to thank everybody for listening, for watching, and for being a part of a Saturday here at Welcome Stadium. I'm Paul Fritchner signing off. We'll have it for you again next Saturday at 1 o'clock against Taylor. Until then, enjoy your week, everybody. The